So,
Now my soul's drunk.
welcome back to Channel Divinity. We've been out for a minute, COVID and all that fun stuff.
And holidays and finals.
Yeah, it's just been a hell of a time, but we're back, and I don't know. I'm pretty freaking excited.
So excited.
I've been waiting for this.
The party is bonded. A little bit.
And then
Slow bonds.
So slow bonds.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
The bonding of please stop blowing up the forest. We are here.
And then I'm like, Carcass, please hit me. And he's like, I love you, bro. I'm like,
We're crying in the forest right now.
Hey now,
"You're a rockstar."
I'm doing the recap here. What?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, my job's done. But
No. Recap it your way.
hey, you want me to?
Make it a story. Yeah.
Go for it.
I've got a recap. Do you
Yeah,
want to hear the
let's
recap?
do it, yes.
Do you want to? Okay.
Yeah.
So welcome back to Channel Divinity. It's been a hot minute, so I'm going to recap the entire dang thing from beginning to end of Esmond. So, our story started with Solus and Carcass and two of their other companions coming to Esmond to investigate the crowning of Lorien Ember. Now, Lorien Ember being the, I guess you could call long-lost brother to King Braylon Ember, wasn't supposed to be a public figure. In fact, he was kind of hidden, was in charge of the spies, collected the information for the kingdom, but is now wanting to be the king, and is being coronated, no less, that day. And so they've come to investigate, where they meet the Blue Hoods. There's a group of vigilantes that actually has a close tie with King Braylon, but they are in the same mindset of, why would he want to be the king? And so working together, you decide to investigate illegally by breaking into his private study in the castle in the capital of the kingdom on the day of the coronation. Surprisingly, though, you were able to make it all the way to the study and begin investigating through when all of a sudden your friend Carcass entered back into the room, still disguised as a guard, with a host of guards and the king himself, or the soon-to-be king, entering. Now, after a brief conversation, it was immediately clear that you were not being hung. Instead,
He was a great guy.
yeah, he was quite great until he died, right then and there in front of you. Some eyeless, shapeless almost figure appeared out of nowhere, touched the back of Lorien Ember, and as if dying from the inside out, began to suffocate on his own blood. Reveal these dark black and blue scars all over his body, fall to the ground, twitching and shaking before finally losing all health. One of your partners at the last second, Bastion, released a spell aimed directly for this figure, but it phased through and smacked the wall behind him as if nothing occurred. And then the figure was gone. A few moments were all you had to investigate the body in the area before you had to face down with the generals underneath the king. Now, that being said, you were able to discover a letter or a note. A few words were scratched into the ground below him. In his last moments, Lorien Ember was able to scratch 3 words that would shape the forms of your thoughts on this attack from here on. And it simply said, "Find my brother." Now, Ivan Ember, his brother, has been dead for a while. Lost in an interdimensional war against an unknown threat. Later donned with the name Githyanki. These creatures were invading from multiple locations in the world. They were essentially just appearing out of nowhere, taking combat to large cities, large settlements, and successfully securing most locations, but the Empire was able to fight back under the united banner of Ivan Ember. However, the last battle, King Ivan Ember did lose his life. So, finding his brother could mean many things. Some of the party has speculated this means that the king is alive and needs to be found. Some that wherever his grave may be, needs to be investigated, and others, something else. Albeit a secret brother or something along those lines. But no clear, concise answer has been found yet. Even speaking with the leader of the Blue Hoods, no answer was able to be formulated, as she too, a close friend of Lorien, as it turns out, was unable to figure out exactly what was meant by this. Her best guess being find the grave. Maybe there's something there. But that same night, war was declared from the Brachian Empire on the Assyrian Empire, a large leap from what was expected of a peaceful negotiation between kingdoms, with the Minotaur general at head, and Gran Grisco, the Grand Advisor for the king, at his side. War was declared, and the party was forced to flee the city, as while they were cleared of
Murder?
they were cleared of the conspiracy to murder, or the
Regicide.
regicide, exactly what it was. The kingdom was thrown into not so much a panic as much as a rave, and began killing anyone they donned or deemed as loyalists. This being shopkeepers that did trade with the North, people who had moved south and stayed loyal, still hung the banners to the Assyrian Empire, which before, maybe, garnered a few broken windows, beating down in an alley or a tavern, or spat on by passersby, has now been deemed a death, or a reason for death. People were hung in the streets, burned at the pyre. You saw multiple people assumed of being loyal to the crown being sentenced in the very center of the courtyard, being made into a mock-up stage with just lines of people being led in by soldiers. Being able to save the brother of the Blue Hoods leader, Miklos, you did manage to escape, almost losing your own lives, but managing to successfully help the Blue Hoods and those that they tried to protect out of the city through a large, essentially anthill of overgrown bugs. It was very similar to what one would call an Umber Hulk, but with varying modulations to their bodies. Something more like giant beetles. Once you escaped, you sealed the tunnel and ran. Altogether, you were able to make it to a large valley that sheltered you for a couple days while you rested up, regained your strength, your spells, and your health.
And also mental health.
And also mental health. Here, Ander was reunited with his sister Bianca and her husband Hubert, who it had been a long time since they had seen each other, and the greeting at first was expectedly not very warm, but unexpectedly turned quite quickly into something that I feel Ander quite needed, and ended with 5 words that stuck with him and anybody else who heard it, which was find him and avenge her. An explosion then was used to show off Solus's new powers on the cliffside. It was an explosion of lightning.
It wasn't used to show off.
In a way,
It was
to deal with the inner turmoils of Solus. Carcass and Solus then reached a boiling point in their relationship, and used it as a chance to, instead of engage in any sort of activity that may break their relationship further, actually talk over their issues and reach a semi-consensus while still being slightly unstable in terms of where they are to each other and what truly the actions that were taken in the leaving of the kingdom really truly mean for their relationship. They've been able to re-enter talking terms, but the party was forced to leave the area after the explosive demonstration by Solus. The party decides to part ways with the Blue Hoods, donning their new title, the Winds of Change. 3 days are how long the party has spent on the road now. Carcass granted a bag from the Blue Hoods that contained varying supplies, enough for about 12 days of trails rations for each of you, some water skins that were already filled, and then, strangely enough, a letter, buried under all of them. And about this first or second day, you were able to find this letter when taking inventory of it, and it simply read, "After seeing such great displays of power, I am convinced that you can help us, and in return, we can provide you with what you seek. Find me in Lockton, room 7 of the Grey Lodge. Signed, M." That is all that is written on this note. It's plain parchment, plain ink. Somebody put it there, and it doesn't seem like it was from the Blue Hoods. Lockton so happens to be another day's journey up the road from where you are, but along the same path you've been traversing. So, in your escape, you were unable to retrieve your horses and have been traveling on foot and dodging on and off road as there are now wanted posters with your faces on them throughout the kingdom for the suspicion of murder and mass distress, public disorder, and murder again. A lot of murder. Yeah. And so, dodging the law has been a most priority for the Winds of Change up to now. But with this letter leading in the same direction as their supposed travels north for their own individual agendas, the party decides to at least see what this is about, if nothing else, while keeping a semi-low profile to avoid. Now, for those of you that do not know about Lockton, Lockton is a shipbuilding town. Back in the days of the founding of Essamont, the shore of Essamont was too rocky and too dangerous for ships to port and leave. And so instead, this large lake that has a very large river that known as the Ravelon River that feeds out into the ocean was used as a shipbuilding area, as you could easily leave the lake, the freshwater lake that filtered out into the water, and then come back in, fighting upstream. The river doesn't move very quickly and is almost, at this point, eroded out into a lake. But for now serves about 20 miles inland, or 40, 50 miles inland, as a port for shipbuilding. So, Lockton is, their primary export would be freshwater fish, timber, and boats, as it is located in a pretty dense forest just north of that southern coast. Ever since the introduction of magic re-entering society with the spell plague kind of waning to an end, the shores of Essamont have been able to be smoothed out, and ports have been starting to pop up. However, the guild still runs Lockton, and it is still very much a thriving community. So by the guild specifically, this is a guild of shipwrights, and this is the shipwrights of Brachia. They were essentially left in charge by the kingdom. The town consists mostly of these shipwrights, blacksmiths, sailmakers, fishermen, woodsmen, carpenters, sailors, and all of their families. A few nobles also call Lockton their home, but Lockton is mostly these guild members and their family, while many people still use Lockton as a place to hire a boat for journeys around the coast. Multiple inns are still able to stay in business.
Is it Loggerton or Lockerton?
L-A-K-A-T-O-N.
Okay, gotcha.
T-O-N. T-O-N, yeah.
Shipbuilding town, river into the sea, 4 days travel from Essamont.
It's located on the Lake Laka. Lake Laka on the river Ravelon.
And this is in the Kingdom of Brachia.
This is still in Brachia, yeah.
B-R-A-C-C-I. Is it with two T's or
There's one C.
Yep, you're right.
I was going to say, let me double check that. It does have a governor appointed, almost a baron, but for the most part, it is widely known that the guild runs this town. People don't necessarily live here because Essamont is so close, and they can go live in the capital city, where most work is, but guild workers, guild artisans, are still very much focused here. And they take great pride in their work. And so, with that being said, and with the introduction, or the reintroduction of the campaign being put to rest, we re-enter into the road, the travel, with Carcass. Carcass, it is dark. Blindingly dark, with only little specks of light being seen around as you look above you. You feel yourself still walking forward, but as you look down, you again only see this darkness with these twinkling stars off in the distance. try to take another step and find yourself falling. And falling. Floating. You no longer have the sensation of losing yourself into the void, but instead existing within it. And as you float and slowly rotate, you begin to feel drops. And not from one direction, from all directions. Drops of rain. And as you see these white stars flash and flicker, they come closer and then fall upon your skin as these large globules of rain from many directions. The water itself, cyan, white, and they're falling onto your skin, onto your face, soaking through you, but it's not cold. It's not warm. It's just wet.
That's a quote.
You blink, trying to wipe the water away from your face, and as you do, you're back in the forest. The party, where you were. The party has taken a rest about 200, 300 feet away from the side of the road. The main road, midday, just taking an hour to stay away as the main patrols are moving up and down the path. A few of you, most likely, have laid your heads against trees or walking around taking guard, collecting spell components that you may need. But for the most part, just taking a chance to apply a short rest. If you haven't already, go ahead and apply a long rest, as 3 days have passed since you started on the journey. At this point, Solus, you have taken to exploring the surrounding fauna and flora, just seeing what there is, taking note as you have been through your journeys. Carcass had sat down for a short nap, and then the remaining 3 of you, what would you have done? I mean,
Probably reading.
Sharpening swords with a whetstone.
I would say going through my book.
Yeah, actually reading, avoiding detection.
Right. Yeah, the sun's high in the sky. Not a cloud to be seen, although this close to the coast, you're pretty sure that within a couple hours there'll be a heavy rainstorm coming
Do
through.
we smell like... Wait, no, it's a lake, so it'll be fresh water. Never mind.
You do smell salt water from the south. You are close enough to still smell it, and there are definitely still saltwater, boggy areas in the around, but there's a freshwater lake,
So the
Laka.
forest we're in is more tropical? Cool.
Yeah.
So jungle-esque.
Yeah, very much so.
Like Everglades, I guess is for a good.
Yeah, it's kind of a mix. As you go more north, it transfers more into a carnivorous, and you're already starting to see some vestiges of that 3 days into your journey. You've traveled about 20 miles a day, keeping a pretty steady pace, but having to stop pretty often, because typically your movement would be 30 miles a day. But with the having to stop and hide from oncoming groups, it's been slow progress north. Locaton being another 20 miles away, you find yourselves reaching the end of this short rest and getting ready to hit the road again. Now, this bag that has all these items is not necessarily a backpack. It's more of a sack with 2 straps on it.
Okay.
So it's not great quality. It's decent. But, yeah.
So throughout the journey, I've probably been having to stop and adjust the sack.
Very much so.
I wish you were like on the ground foaming at the mouth, like, man, you should have ate those mushrooms.
When you do awaken, you feel the cold air brushing across you, as it is still mid-fall or so. The moisture that you felt on your skin isn't there. I mean, it was a dream, and one that you've had actually before in the past couple days. This isn't the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, so Cargus will kind of awaken from that nap and kind of alarmed, not, feeling any rain. He's gonna just, rub his arms and making sure that it was just a dream, Just gonna let out a deep exhale and then look around for the party.
There's a
Make
small
sure they're safe.
There's a small fire crackling in the center of the group, not emitting very much smoke. Just a very, very small fire near it, and reading, skimming through one of his many books that he's pulled out of his bag. I apologize, what did you say you were doing? What was
I'm
Presinia
looking
doing?
through my book
Okay.
that I have.
Presinia doing almost the exact same. You were sharpening your blade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little outside of the log campfire, like, I mean,
Mhm.
still, the fire is making me visible, like, just by a tree, picking up a mushroom, drawing it in my book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So is he like near us?
Yeah, semi. So he's probably just a little outside of the circle, leaning against one of the trees.
Okay.
I'm
Could I
actually-
see him? Could I see him like? Doing,
What's your passive?
Perception 14.
Yeah, you probably noticed the
I'm
jerk.
actually probably, like, 5 feet, like, next to him,
Mhm.
by a different tree, doing the sketching into my tomb.
I would say, unless you choose not to notice, with how on alert you guys are with being, essentially hunted, you all are aware of the jump. Carcass waking up.
You know, still in the smoke, you know.
So Harkin kind of slows down, sharpening his sword as he looks over at Carcass. Carcass, what troubles you?
Oh, nothing really. It's just a familiar feeling, and kind of a warm smile kind of goes across his face. It felt like home for a bit.
I understand the sentiment of those kinds of dreams.
Carcass is gonna stand up from leaning against the tree, kind of walk over towards the campfire. Everybody's mostly is kind of glancing over to his left and seeing Solus, scribing in his tome. He's gonna sit down next to the fire.
The little bit of heat it gives off is very comforting, pulling your clothes tight, what little you have that wasn't ruined by it. You probably only have 1 to 2 pairs of clothes on you anyways. And so the little bit of warmth it gives, plus the clothes you're wearing, are able to keep you fairly warm.
I'm gonna finish up the mushroom. I realize I could just probably, it means like it's literally just an edible mushroom, so I'm just close the book, walk over, toss the mushroom in the forest. Yeah, that wasn't interesting.
Ender looks up at the sky. I realize I haven't used this in a while. Keen mind, what time is it? How much time before the next sunset?
Okay, so it is currently about 1 p.m. And as it is late fall, early winter, you're looking at a sunset of about 7:30.
Well, judging from this, we
So we have a
should...
fire out in the daylight?
You do, but it's very, very... A couple of you have Wanderers, right?
Have what?
The Wanderer feat, or the Wanderer perk from Backstory.
The Outlander?
Yeah, Outlander. I apologize.
So.
I don't think I do.
Okay, you say you don't or do?
No, I don't.
Wait, do none of you? Well, I would say then
Well, now you're starting.
the Druid. I'm actually kind of surprised. I feel like everybody always has that. That kind of makes me happy.
That's why I chose Hermit.
I like that.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
The military background.
So that being said, you probably for your own reasons would have, and you as well, would have an understanding for how to make a smokeless fire. You're able to pull
And I mean,
pieces of
Carcass lives out in the forest.
right,
so-
yeah. And you do mask your presence from those around the forest fairly often.
Obvious way, guys.
Depending on how many more patrols we pass, we should be getting there around a little past dawn. Tomorrow, of course, but...
It's not bad. I can't wait to hit a town and maybe eat some breakfast.
And get some new clothes.
Hey, Carcass, if you want, I think I have a spare blanket I could probably cut some holes into for you. Make a robe. Keep you a little warm.
That might look a little weird, but
I mean, it's
Harkin
just...
sort of looks up.
just
We're of
wool.
similar sizes. I have a set of common clothes in my bag.
well, if you were willing, I'd appreciate it. My clothes are still kind of damp and ruined.
Harkin sort of shuffles through his bag next to him for a moment before pulling out just some plain garments. Since we're
Just
same
a
height,
jacket.
pretty much, we're almost equal build. So,
Mhm.
and
I remember when we first met, I was like, Carcass, not Carcass.
Yeah, we know you guys were the same exact height. Yeah.
because
So
you
it's
were asking me, or you were trying to describe him to me, and he's like, he's about your height.
Oh, you.
That's a
Because we're the same height.
Depending on how long we plan to stay in said town, I might be able to find us some proper room and board.
Well, that would be nice. I do appreciate beds every once in a while. I do feel like the civilization gave it. That was a great gift. That's what I gave.
Well, that lodge that was mentioned in that letter, I guess, would be a good starting point for that. Right? The
Yeah,
Gray
whoever it is,
Lodge.
I almost feel like it might have to do with the brat, the young guy, you know, on the horse. And he gave the supplies to the group.
Oh, Stanton.
He was missing an ear, if I recall correctly.
I know it's not his name, it's already M, but people on the inside, it looks like. Whatever gets us to the north safe and fast, all down for it.
Well, if you all don't mind, I'm gonna change behind some trees. If you want to take a peek, you can. But, be my guest.
Because we bathed together. I don't need to take a peek.
I don't remember. I don't remember that.
You don't remember in your village? Oh wait, I was kind of spying on you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, maybe a few too many glasses of Fireball, probably.
Maybe a little too many.
Yeah.
Probably too many.
You almost drank a whole keg.
I don't remember that night.
And Kargas kind of chuckles and stands up and then recedes kind of into the forest behind a tree, changing into those common clothes, and you might hear, "Ooh, this fits kind of nice." You know?
It's warm.
I kind of almost unthinkingly look down at my robes, which they're clean because prestidigitation, but they are tattered, you know, essentially. Like I've been doing a lot of running, and the hemline is ruined completely.
I'm used to that.
Yes, it may be nice to get new clothes or just simple amenities that we haven't had out here.
Kargas, after a few minutes, comes back from the tree line, and he's still kind of adjusting to his clothes. Like, I can get used to this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're used to lesser crafted clothing.
I'm also, used to armor, but that's.
Oh, yes, sorry, I completely forgot I found those quail eggs, and I reach into my pouch and crack one on your head. I already did
Rubs
mine
his
this
hair.
morning,
I
but
heard that's very good for your hair.
Yeah,
It's silky.
the skin too. I dig it.
So, everyone rested? Want to get to the next town?
Harkin sort of slips one of his swords back into his sheath and reaches down to his hip flask or sort of bottle thing and pops it open and takes a sip and looks at it and goes, "Oh." Puts the cork back. "Perhaps we should. I seem to be out."
Wonderful. Great excuse. We need to get drunk and merry. That's what I'm hearing.
Ander waves a hand. Prestidigitation just douses the fire.
Perfect.
Druidcraft. Nice.
The fire just fades in seconds. Almost as if like the reverse of burning up, it
Whoa.
flames down.
Can I Druidcraft and move some loose soil around or the ash?
We'll cover it.
Absolutely, yeah. And within seconds, the two of you are able to put out any sign that the five of you were there.
Nice.
Well, onwards then. And Kargas is gonna go over to the sack, and heave it on his back.
I hope we do find a waterfall soon. I love the natural path.
Definitely.
So the five of you, how are you doing this? You just walking out of the main road? Are you trying to stay on and off? I mean, it's up to you guys how you want to play it. In general, you're going to since you're not on horseback, you're going to hear any horses coming. So unless there's a group of guards that are not wearing heavy armor and clinking around, you would probably be able to hear people coming, as long as you're...
I'd say stick to the main road.
So side of the main road so we can
Yeah.
dash on and off as needed.
Okay. And who's in lead, and are you guys just walking as a group?
I would probably go, 20, 25 feet in front of everyone.
Okay.
Kind of scout, not too far away.
So Brezinia's going to be taking the lead?
Sure, why not?
Kargas will stick to the middle of the pack, like the core.
And
Ender,
Front.
Ender will be taking the rear.
sounds good.
And then I'll be back with him.
And what is your past perception?
14, I believe.
Sounds good.
Kargus almost acting as like a, you know, a towering
The
figure in the
sentry.
middle.
Yeah.
And so he's kind of just an owl, just moving his head around. You know?
Watching the sides.
Yeah, you're big old
And yours
black
like a
goat.
21 or 23 past 22.
Oh my god.
Yeah, his passive
He took the
perception.
alert feat, which is insane.
The wish feat?
The alert.
Alert.
It's just, it broke him if you're using
Wait,
past
does
perception.
alert do passive perception?
Yeah.
Plus 5
Plus
to
five.
your investigation and
You gain +5 bonus to initiative.
Mhm.
Cannot be surprised when
No,
you
not
come-
alert.
It's not alert.
Observe, my
Observer.
bad.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
no,
sorry,
it's not
sorry,
alert, 'cause
yeah.
I think 2
Observer.
people
I'll
in
go
Spartan
ahead.
have alert.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Good old PTSD. Did you end up taking the PTSD feat?
I didn't. I succeeded on the wisdom save last time.
I was just curious if you
Okay.
took the feat.
I didn't know that there was one I could add to the character.
Yeah, it actually is. It is an actual feat in the game, and you can take it for free at any point.
Okay.
It gives you.
It's not.
It's like it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So the plus side is you get alert for free. The downside is you have 3 triggers that if you hear or see or experience them, you have to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or be paralyzed.
What's it called?
PTSD.
When did we get introduced?
I mean, maybe it's.
There's a slight chance it could be homebrew, but it's in channel.
Yeah, he can't. He can't
I think it
find
is homebrew,
I think it's homebrew that since you guys are shared with me.
and you have it in your
taken
homebrew
my
collection.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
I liked it. That's why I took it. Or, you know,
Oh, it's
put it
a
in my-
DC 14 Wisdom save, and if somebody sees you, or you have to make the roll every turn until you break out.
Mhm.
And I don't think it doesn't say anything about reprocking, but that wouldn't really make sense if you just broke out.
Do you want the PTSD feat? Because I could put it in right now.
It gives me alert, but I only have 1 trigger instead of 3, so I don't think we have to, because I don't need alert, really. It is thankfully, so far, has been a rare occurrence, but I will use that DC as the guideline, if that's okay. DC 14
Absolutely,
wisdom
yeah.
save.
Sounds
and then,
good.
And then your teammates can attempt to persuade you out of it with a DC 16
Persuasion.
persuasion.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
I can do that.
I am going to use that. I won't take the feat just because I don't think Ander wouldn't
Plus
take
7.
alert.
Yeah, it kind of sucks when you're in a group with no charisma.
Hey, that's what these two are.
Yeah, so
Not
your-
even
your
you.
little
You just
sorcerer
helped us
buddies,
out
you
that
wanna go
first.
to-
I don't have a very high charisma, but I took basically all of the fighter feats or fighter
The
like
face,
the ones that let me roll my superiority dice for social interactions. So I supplement it that way.
It's funny because like role playing wise, like you're not a social guy because you're just naturally social. You literally learned social interactions and how people
Yeah.
talk to each other and stuff.
Well, it's not a military decorum too. Like there is a certain way things have to be done when addressing rank.
On our way then?
Indeed.
On the road you
You
go.
take the front and just
You'll
shout or
know.
something.
You'll know.
This path is a 25-foot wide, well-established trading trail. I mean, you are passing wagon after wagon on the left, keeping your faces under hoods or whatever you do to disguise your.
Oh yeah. I can color up to 3 people's clothes, so I'm gonna make mine. We'll say dark green.
Mhm.
I don't know what Drozh's colors are, but I think we said it was like a tan or sandy something.
Find out.
It might not even be Drozh colors. It was the
Right.
colors of my cloister's scholarly robes.
You are correct. It's like a golden sandy.
Okay, that's the traditional color. I made mine a dark green, and I can change the color of 2 people's clothes for an hour. So every hour I come over and tap you once.
Nice. I got dark green robes on with a nice bright red handkerchief.
Well, that's the problem. We don't want to look like ourselves, Solus.
Right. So Brachia is blue and yellow, and Assyria is red and gold.
Got it. Yeah, so green. Would anyone else like a color change?
I'm not changing the handkerchief. It means a lot to me.
Well, I mean, most of Barrett's visible stuff is he's sort of got like a cloak sort of thing wrapped around him. Like
Brachio's what color is black?
I don't actually know what the color is. I thought it was just kind of like a leather thing, so it's just kind of brown.
From where?
It's not from anywhere.
That is probably brown.
Yeah, so it's not. It has no colors with it because underneath it is his old armor, but he's basically ripped all of the sigils off of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so you got,
stripped
the
of
loose
its
chains.
military
Yeah, so it's kind of it looks a little raggedy, but
Gotcha.
it's had all those symbols ripped off of it, so it doesn't really have any color on it, except for just belts and metal.
Okay, so the 5 of you hit the road, and you are moving. You've changed the color of your cloaks. If I have you roll anything, remind me about that.
Gotcha.
So I can adjust DC based off that. And the 5 of you set off. It is midday already, and the sun's starting to go down the first couple hours in. Not going to hit the horizon until about 7 or so, and then it'll be blocked by the trees for the most part. 7:30 it'll be full darkness. And about 4 or 5 o'clock comes along, and you've only had to duck into the woods once. A set of horsemen come riding up, unsure whether or not they bear the sigils of Brachia. At the behest of Presinia, the 5 of you duck off into the woods, and luckily enough, because it was indeed a patrol riding south, coming back towards Esmond. As the 5 of you head back onto the road, it's not about 40 or 50 more minutes before, at this point, most movement up and down the path has ceased. As the sun sets, most traders, merchants, and others have found rest either in the woods or at a established town or village, a hamlet, even if that's all there is. At this point, you've only passed one town and did not choose to stop there, as it was only about a day's journey outside of Esmond, and at that point, as far as you could tell, they were still hot on your heels. But here, about 40 or 50 minutes in, there is a cry for help. From just off to the side of the road, you can see up ahead there is a wagon, but it is one of the wheels is broken, and there are 3 bolts stuck into the side of the wood. It looks like there was a horse leading, but it is gone. Not dead, no blood, just disconnected. And sounds like a man crying for help. Help! Like off into the woods, somewhere to the east. Presuming you're the first to hear this.
I use telepathic speech, and the person closest behind me, who is that?
Barrett.
If they do not also already hear it, I just say, Barrett, I hear something up ahead. It sounds like someone's crying for help. Let the others know.
Barrett sort of, grips his sword a little tighter. There's something up ahead. Presinia says she hears someone screaming for help.
Well, I think that's our duty to help people. And so I'm going to start kind of jogging off. with my
Parkin
staff.
kind of puts his hands up. Don't go off so hastily. It could be a trap.
Do you think people would lie to us? Okay, yeah, sure.
I'm waiting up at the front, just standing still, waiting for the others to catch up.
Parkin kind of waves his hands along to move us up to you.
Cargus is gonna follow. That way.
So who's leading the front?
Well, she's up ahead, and then I'm leading.
Okay.
We're
Yeah, it's
waiting.
more up to
I'm
her.
waiting for the
I
others.
give
Okay.
one more 5-second look behind us just to make sure. And then
Roll me
I
a
follow.
perception check.
Well,
Nice.
not terrible. That is an 11.
Okay. Just with this quick glance, you can't quite tell with the sun starting to reach the horizon. It's getting a little dark down here. It looks clear to you, but I mean, it's
Yeah, I
with a
shrugged. There's
quick
more
glance,
pressing matters. Yeah.
I mean, you've been looking this whole time and you haven't seen anything. Nothing seems moving or busy or anything like that.
Parkin kind of looks between you. Can we still hear it? Is it still going on?
It was a single cry.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
It was one cry, and you can't tell. It sounded not very far away, but it definitely sounded slightly weak.
Can we see the cart?
Yeah, the cart is clearly visible, about 50 feet up the road.
Arkham kind of points to the cart. Let's investigate this first, then move in the direction.
I'm gonna run off
Know thy enemy.
to the cart.
Okay. I was like, what?
Into the woods. I'll save you.
You get up to the cart, and it looks like somebody's been. I mean, all of you essentially get up here, and it looks like somebody's been digging through the contents. Like bags are just spilled out across the wagon's floor. It looks like somebody has cut the reins that were holding whatever pack animal was leading this to the cart, and a few things have probably been removed, or else this cart was fairly empty whenever it was first.
But no signs of blood.
Roll me perception.
Can I make an investigation
Yeah.
check to see
Or, yeah.
how the scenario might have played out?
So,
Possibly? Or should I make perceptions and try to get more clues first?
roll me perception.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I got a 5 perception.
Okay.
But
cool.
next time I will investigate a specific
that was a
thing.
26.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else trying to look around?
I'll-
Okay.
I'll
I mean,
roll
I'm
perception.
investigating the cart as well, I guess.
Yeah.
I think
Hyper-focused.
It's the same roll for me either way.
Cargus is
so-
gonna investigate the cart, but he's gonna look at specifically like the bolts that are in like the side of the cart.
Okay. The cross
good
bolts.
call.
I am laser focused.
I rolled a 12, so.
Okay.
I'm
So
trying to find everything.
we're gonna start with
This side.
Solus. So you are just investigating everything, or laser focused on?
Trying to find clues of what might have happened, and depending on clues I find, I kind of want to make an investigation check to see if I can piece together the scene.
Okay. You were the first, but not the last, to spot blood. It looks like whoever was driving the wagon was injured. There's a fair amount of blood on the side of the cart, and then if you look closely, you can kind of see that it trails off to the east. Somebody was injured and had ran off in the direction that you guys heard a cry for help. Then I'm gonna go ahead and go with you. What did you roll?
I rolled a 12. I guess I was looking at like the wheel, since you said it was smashed.
Yeah, so you look at the wheel, and it looks
Does it look like a crash, or does it look like it was smashed?
like it may have broken upwards, right? So it rolled over something that busted it.
Okay.
But then it also looks like there's another point where it was broken from the inside, where a what are those called? The
Axel?
no, the
Framing for like the...
yeah, whatever goes inside the
Spokes.
wheel. Spokes. I wanted to say spikes.
Spike.
The spoke was snapped as well. And what did you roll?
Is this investigation or perception?
Perception.
19.
And you are currently just looking at everything?
Yeah.
Okay, you're probably with Solus looking at this when you notice that there is looks like the person had a bow with them that is just left under. It's like tucked up underneath the seat, still in storage, so it was not retrieved or even touched.
And those 3 bolts.
Those are crossbow bolts from looks like most likely a light crossbow. They're of smaller proportion compared to ones you might see on a heavier version of the crossbow.
With those town guards in it.
Do they look like they're
They've been used before. There's damage on them that is not from this impact.
I think I'm looking more for like the pattern of the bolts. Like how are they on the cart? Like hit on the cart.
So they aren't coming from the same direction. It looks like a couple hit from different angles. So either one crossbow over it moving, or them moving, or multiple at the same time from different angles.
I was just looking for blood. I rolled a 5, so I'm gonna assume I wasn't even looking for blood on the cart. I was looking to see if because the horse is gone. I was looking to see if the horse was injured or if it fled, and I didn't see blood.
But you can see hoof prints that take off, and they look like they go up the road north, but you can't see where they terminate.
I rolled a 16.
A 16. Okay. So you are able to. You start with them looking at the blood, and then you follow that trail a little ways and start to find broken branches off to the side of the road. It looks like heading the direction where you heard that cry. Somebody fled.
About how far away did I hear that cry?
You can't. From that one yell, you can't quite tell.
I would like to use detect thoughts, just to see if I can sense any thinking creature within 30 feet.
Okay. You close your eyes. You tune in to the weave and start to feel through it for any signs of life. And other than the 4 companions of yours nearby, within 30 feet out into the woods, maybe a few smaller creatures, but no.
Why would leave someone surviving if they obviously had the means to kill them? I was thinking. And yeah, I've just got this weird look on my face.
Yeah. Confused. Okay.
I guess I'll be the first to point out. So there was blood, and it going that way, a little east. I would say we could track it. I see the bolts. I mean, I'm just kind of guessing here. Maybe someone tried to hurt the cart. I don't know. It's probably that way. We could probably go that way.
Perhaps they just wanted the contents. They didn't care about the passengers.
This time, or at this point in time, there's another cry for help, and this time a little stronger. Help! And this time you hear about 50, 60 feet into the woods. Like, it's not very far, but with the thick underbrush, you can't quite see what.
Harkin kind of turns towards it. All right, we'll investigate. But beyond you're going.
Everyone, hold up, and I'm going to cast Pass Without Trace. So, a veil of shadows and silence are going to radiate from us, making all of us masked from detection. So we all get to roll stealth, and we have a +10 bonus to that roll. So if everyone wants to stealth and not get ambushed going where we're going, check out the area.
I would like to stay with the cart in case someone does try to follow you. And I kind of like get around on the other side that wasn't shot at with, and just kind of hunker down where they're leading off to.
Well, I'll still give you the
+10.
bonus.
I would appreciate it.
Roll
That
32.
Okay. Natural 20.
25.
That is a 16 with your +10. I'm thankful.
That's jeez. Where's my stealth? It's a +2, so that's a 7. +10, so that's a 17, but I have disadvantage, so I'm going to roll again. That's a 2, so that's a 14.
Thank God for Pass Without Trace.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Carcass.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. Still.
So 16.
Okay. So is there anybody below an 11? Right. Cool. Perfect.
Good spell.
Yes, the 4 of you make your way off into the woods, very deftly. Yeah, essentially just melding with the underbrush, indistinguishable as they start to pass through, except for Harkin, who reflects a little bit. But once he's in, and you lose sight of all 4 very quickly. As you guys start to move forward, you start to hear growling, and it sounds like a pack of wolves, and somebody basically like, get back, and they're
Not right there, please.
as you start to get closer, you see what looks like an older man. He's clutching his side, and there's a bolt sticking out of his side. His blood, pouring down his side. He is on his like butt, scooting back, pushing himself backwards. And he's holding a short sword. You can see the scabbard on his side. He's got braying hair, middle-aged human, and he's, get back! He's just swinging it wildly, trying to keep these 3 wolves at bay that are slowly encroaching on him.
I guess Harkin sees this, I guess we all see it, I assume.
Yeah.
And he kind of puts his second hand on his swords and slowly unsheaths both of them.
Okay.
And starts to move quicker towards the beast encroaching, so he's kind of hoofing it, I guess.
Okay. Roll me initiative as you start to enter. Anybody else entering combat, or are you guys hanging out?
I'm entering combat.
Okay.
Yeah. It's only 60 feet away. Could I roll now in case I do join initiative?
Yeah, do.
Okay.
6.
What is that?
Holy cow.
16 plus 7, that's I can't do 23.
Is that the alert feat giving you all that?
Yeah, so you get a +5.
Insane.
So I got a +7 to my initiative. So.
That's insane. All right, so anybody above 20?
22.
Um,
Wait. 23.
You'll be.
Can't do math.
Anybody above 15?
18.
Anybody above 10? Above 10?
10.
Okay, 5 to 10. So 10.
6.
5. Okay.
Cool.
Harkin, he drew his swords and was ready to go.
Yeah.
I was kind of like trying to process.
Sorry,
wait,
bad.
wait, like, wait, wolves, what? Dude, bolts.
Solus, and then it was Presenia. Catching the wolves unaware, they almost do not even react to your approaching just yet, allowing you to do whatever you wish. As you get first move.
Surprise attack.
Yeah, so he's gonna. I guess whichever wolf is like
Closest.
closest to me.
Scissors down.
Yeah, that's yeah, two slices down towards them. I guess, assuming it doesn't instantly kill them.
Mhm.
I guess am I undetected in this case, or
You are undetected in this case.
okay? So that's advantage.
Yeah.
Gold dice. Oh, the gold dice.
Ooh.
Ooh, damn, that's well, I feel like that's 18, 25.
Absolutely hits.
Okay, so that's 1d8 plus 4. Okay, that's 6 damage.
Okay. The first sword easily lodges itself in the haunches of the larger animal, letting out a loud yelp, and tries to jump away from you, but is held on by your blade, stuck into its haunch.
Okay. And I'll make a second attack. I guess does that still have the advantage?
Now that you made an attack now.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. 24.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's and you know what? This time I'm gonna use. I will use a combat superiority dice and use menacing attack. Bro, going all out. These things.
So
I don't like dogs.
I haven't killed anything in 3 days. I got the bloodlust.
so that's now
Ice bucket.
2d8 plus 4.
Jeez.
So that's a 5 and a 7 plus 4. Is he dead?
So what's the total damages there?
7 plus, what was it? 7 plus 4 plus 7 plus 4 plus 4. So, or wait, no.
15.
What did I roll the first time?
You roll 6. Rolled a 6.
Yeah.
You got a 6 in total last
Did
time.
20 something damage to it, yes.
Yeah.
Did you do 22 damage to it?
Yeah.
Because then it's double dead. How would you like to?
Okay, so I guess like the first sword's kind of stuck in it, and he brings the second one down and it lodges it into its neck.
Yeah.
And he kind of like uses the momentum to push it off of his first sword and throw the corpse towards the other two wolves with like a roar.
So, before anybody even gets a chance to react, Barrett charges forward. Once his left sword launches into the haunch of the wolf, and he sweeps around to the side of it, where he's literally like side of it. The wolf looks back, tries to nip at him, but the sword stabs into the throat of this beast. Now, these dogs are not small. These are medium beasts. These things probably weigh about 200 pounds. These are large wolves. They are insanely large. More large than you've seen a wolf before. 120 pounds. Not, I don't know why I said 200.
I can still lift it.
Yeah, no. Because that second sword goes in, and you flip it up over your back, and the lifeless body of this wolf ragdolls over top of Harkin, releasing a spray of wolf
Well,
blood.
you're throwing it towards the other two wolves.
Right, and so you step to the right, this guy's on the left, and you launched him over yourself backwards onto the two wolves behind, and turn and face as this wolf actually lands on one of the other
So
wolves.
it's like an intimidating growl, like
Yeah.
thud.
Yeah, and do you get any bonus to intimidation with menacing?
It would have been to the target. He would have had to have made a save against being frightened.
Well, there's no save.
We're going to go ahead and have you roll against the other two.
Okay.
Barking.
Bro, he just charges in like freaking light speed.
So you rolling an intimidation, and then
Bro, you flip him like a Krabby Patty.
Yeah.
how does this work?
How does rolling intimidate?
So say you were doing it to that wolf, would you have to roll to intimidate, and then they roll the save against whatever you rolled, or?
I don't.
Because that's how grappling used to work.
Strike save.
Well, that would have
Menacing strike.
Menacing yeah. I just.
So I mean, it's that wolf was
Menacing
intimidated.
strike. They have to make a DC 15.
Okay, so you don't have to roll at all. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to. It's for my target, not other targets.
Yeah, he's making it towards the other side.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just.
For this situation.
Bro, you were in the DM for
What is that? What is that called? Collateral.
Overkill the target.
And it's a intimidation, and it's a wisdom save.
Yeah, it says DC 15 Wisdom save.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
trying to scare
We're gonna
him
go
off.
on to Ander. Did you want to do anything? You hear this loud yelp of a wolf.
Followed by a roar.
I
Yeah,
kind of
oh,
shrug.
like
I look
roar.
around the other end of the cart, like I
Yeah.
stick my head around just to make sure they're not being followed.
Mhm.
And then if I don't see anything, I just
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
kinda like,
twiddle my thumbs.
Yeah, it sounds like it's.
Yeah, this is it. This should be easy.
With that, it is now the wolf's turn, and they turn. And
Turn
one of them
two.
does leave Barrett's range of 5 feet. If you would like to take an action to attack.
Murder these.
No, they're fleeing. Alone.
Oh, okay.
They run with their tail
They're
between their
animals,
legs.
I mean, I'm not-
These wolves take off. And as they do, this human, you might think would immediately be like, oh, thank God, but it's more of a, oh, shit! As this giant two-legged beast just jumps out. This large, scaly dragon from absolutely nowhere just appears and rips one of these animals in half, throws it, and just releases this loud roar. Oh, gods! Oh!
Harkin kind of waits until he sees the wolves like gone. He doesn't even really pay attention to the dude, and finally, once they're gone, he kind of like lowers his shoulders. He's like, "Are you all right?"
Gave me a damn heart attack!
I'm gonna appear right behind, put my hand on his shoulder.
Hey, how you doing?
Bolt wound doesn't kill him.
I'm gonna be like.
I'm gonna roll for heart attack.
Oh god.
He passes out.
I was gonna say
Onto the
like,
ground.
stay calm. Well, that was easy.
Um,
I'm gonna heal him.
okay. How are you gonna heal him?
Think.
So you're gonna rip the bolt out?
Really carefully.
Roll me a medicine check.
That was nice. 17 plus 8.
Nice.
You definitely remove the bolt as you do. Ah! He comes back to life as you're ripping this out of his abdomen. Ah!
I'm just gonna smile. It's okay, and I'm gonna heal him.
What are you? Oh, okay, okay.
It's like a splinter.
It's like, you know, when you go to the ER for like getting an injury, like if you break your foot and you twist it, they want to reset it really fast without you knowing. So they kind of just walk and go, "You're fine."
Yeah.
I'm gonna give him 9 points of health.
Yeah, and so it starts the. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that was unexpected.
I'm gonna stand up. Want to come to your feet? Walk around maybe a little bit. Walk it off.
Do I? Are there more of you?
Nah, yes. there
And I
is.
jump out and say, hey, how's it going?
And a giant fur bowl comes out.
I would like to my feet very much,
Yes,
thank you.
yes, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. What happened?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Looks like you were ambushed, but I don't think wolves can shoot crossbolts.
My name's Froth. I'm a merchant.
Beautiful name.
Thanks. I was carrying goods south to Essamont. Oh, fuck. That stung. I was attacked. I'm out a little past when the roads are no longer patrolled, or at least less so, and I unfortunately caught the sharp side of a bolt in my side and ducked off into the woods before the bandits could overtake me. I'm sure they've raided my cart by now, but I was able to hide. For at least, they didn't seem interested in me, just what I had. So I've been here for 20 or so minutes.
Wow, you were very strong to live that long. Congratulations.
Well, they always say don't remove it, right? So I didn't.
Yes,
And then,
they do.
and then the wolves came. Thank you. I owe you my life. Your names?
Solus the Bella.
Well met, Solus.
Kind of just looming over this guy.
Barrett.
Barrett, thank you.
Carcass.
Caucus. A nice
You-
name.
We're almost a carcass.
He's got a funny
Roll me a.
performance.
I don't even know. I mean, it's gonna be a charisma something.
Intimidation.
Charisma save. Do a persuade performance. Do a performance. It's a joke.
7. No odd? No, nothing? Nope.
Indeed. Thank you.
He doesn't.
Allurement.
Presenia.
Thank you all. Is my cart okay?
We can show you the remains.
Please. I would like to get out of these woods as soon as possible.
I'm gonna give him my staff.
Well, you won't be using the cart to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him my staff with a mistletoe on it. You know, if you want to use this to prop yourself, unless you want us to touch you and all that.
Thank you.
I'm just watching personal space.
Yeah. The party comes limping back out of the woods with a.
The party lips.
Sorry, limping and unlimping with a elderly man leading the way. Middle aged, not elderly, but he's got graying hair, probably mid-40s to the early 50s. You can see he has quite bloodied clothes, but where there should be a wound, it looks like it's been healed up for the most part. The crutch most likely to deal with the placebo effect of being shot in the side at this point over the, the remaining wound.
This is when we need pass without brace.
Good guys.
I refuse.
There it is.
Good lord. As he looks over his cart, well, they've taken everything, but he looks down over the side, kind of holding on to it, and I should be able to fix that.
What were you carrying?
Grain and some precious gems.
Probably what the bandits wanted.
Yeah, the grain's still here. Yeah.
They know to. I mean, he's lucky.
I have no idea, honestly. Oh shit. And he reaches down under the cart and feels around, and you hear a click. And he pulls something out, and it's like leather, just a small satchel. Whew, okay. And he puts that away.
I'm glad you found what you were looking for.
Yes, he looks around and suddenly remembers there are others around. They didn't take everything, thank goodness. And then he kind of reaches under, and he lays down on the ground for a second, and painfully pushes himself up under, and you hear him unattach something, and he comes back out with another wagon wheel. A spare for broken wheels. Not uncommon on the road.
How come are the thieves?
It depends on the time and the location. Here, obviously uncommon enough for me to have braved the darkness. The fool I am. Well,
The fool you are.
the sunset.
I'm just
Is
kidding.
his cart facing north or south?
His cart, he's heading south.
Got it.
Back towards Esamont.
Well, your cart's probably not going to go anywhere without a horse.
True. I could at least pull it to the side and cover it up.
And where are you heading again?
Esamont.
Wait, you really want to go there? Have you heard? I'm sure you have.
I've been on the road on my own for about a week. What do you mean?
They've declared war, and that place is a little unhinged at the moment. Everyone's going crazy over it.
Christ.
Who?
I don't know.
Which god?
Toll.
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 JC.
Toll's left ankle.
Exactly. Left ankle.
Um,
I like that. Lord.
Yeah.
Lord.
That's bad news.
You're not with the Assyrians, are you? Because,
No.
okay, well then you won't get lynched, hopefully. I mean, they've been trying to kill their own, because anyone associated with them is hung.
Are you still planning to go to Esamont?
No, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing there but my shop. But if they're...
Well, our shops are burnt.
Maybe I'll head back north.
You know what your shop was called? You might know. He remembers things. If he's seen it, he knows it.
Yeah. I typically do trade through Stanton's Menagerie, but you wouldn't know of that, would you?
Did he
It's a-
see
it's a
a
more-
menagerie when we were walking around anywhere?
Roll me a perception for back then. To just have seen it.
If you've seen it, you know it.
17. We must have passed it. It was.
Yeah, you probably saw it, and it was... In fact, it was the store across the street that was absolutely getting destroyed.
That was the one that got caught on fire?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
retail guys.
when he says the name, Anders' face drops. The one across from the tavern.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, friend. There's nothing for you in Esmond.
Well,
That was the place I'm thinking about. It's burned to the ground.
wasn't mine, luckily. An old buddy did trading through it, and I simply provided goods. So if that's the case, yeah, we'll just head back north.
You could travel with us for a little bit. You know, company.
Where are you headed?
Lockatown. Lockatown.
Lockatan?
Lockatown.
Lockatan. Oh, well, sure. Why not? We're only a few hours' journey south, so
No, not too far. Man.
with the 5 of you, I'm sure we could make it past dark.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
We've been traveling for a while now and taking care of ourselves pretty nicely.
Hunter puts on like a sickly grin to the rest of you.
Yep, he does too.
No, not quite.
No, actually, you've
I just wanted to see if he
invaded
saw.
my brain before, right? I'm like staring daggers at
Surely.
you.
Harkin sort of looks towards the merchant. Would you like help in putting your wheel back on and moving your cart off the
Yeah.
road? Keep it out of the way.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to talk.
Okay.
Have some help putting this back together in some piece, get it back.
I mean,
I'm
more than welcome to help, of course. Would you two like to? You two larger fellows, would you be able to lift the side of the wagon for me?
Yeah, I can do that.
Of course.
Kind of drops the sack on his. Drops the sack on his back and lays it on the ground.
As this
Goes
is happening, I notice Ander just like glaring
Mhm,
daggers.
mhm.
So I use telepathic speech, and I'm like, what's
I might be able to just do it
what's on your
myself.
mind?
We gave him our real names, and we're heading towards a town where he will be likely to repeat them. A town that also likely knows of us.
That's the smart guy in the party for you.
This is true. Well, real names as far as you know, but
Yeah, and now Andrew's like puzzled.
My name's
I-
actually Tom.
I do believe that we will still be able to find some safe shelter for at least a small while.
Or at least keep an eye on him. We can't have
Oh,
him talking
definitely.
about others by himself.
Yes.
And then I go back to regular smile
Yeah.
as I watch the strong
I
ones
guess
push
I
the
wonder how much this
car.
cart weighs, because I can lift 540 pounds.
My God.
Oh yeah. So this cart's probably about 500 pounds.
Okay,
It's
yeah,
a
I can
struggle.
lift it on my own then.
So you can
Yeah,
pull
you
it
have the
into
big
town.
build too. You have
Powerful
powerful
build.
build. You have a power build, so
You can lift double, so you're probably close,
You're probably
like 450 or something, maybe 500.
Yeah, what's your strength actually? I mean, you can actually
What's
look
your
at your push, drag, carry weight in your inventory.
Mm-hmm.
My strength's 15.
So go to inventory, hit weight carried, and you can see how much you can push, drag, or lift.
Yeah, so.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun to look at.
I can do 900 pounds.
Alright.
Okay. So, yeah, you step up and you know, it's a little bit of struggle, but still able to. 'Cause it's close to your threshold.
Yeah, it's
but you're able to
You're like,
lift it, and then Carcass just steps up in one hand, takes half the weight off you with like no issue, and so the two of you masterfully hold it up as Solus you attempt to reattach the wheel.
yeah, with the boy.
Okay, you want to roll with advantage, and it's going to be a Man, they don't have any like crafting. What would you want to put it in? What I would almost say performance.
So there's like
That's
carpenter's
charisma.
tools and stuff like that, which is its own sort of thing.
Right.
Then you just get your proficiency bonus if you're proficient with it. I don't think they have their own like roll, but I'm not really sure.
I wouldn't mind like a raw.
Just click
roll
on
with
weight
proficiency.
period.
Okay.
My tools are carpenter.
You wouldn't want to add one of your skill points as well.
I mean,
it is an old.
I'd say wisdom.
That's my guess.
Wisdom,
Let me
I
go to
can-
manage.
What raw?
I mean, because it's knowing how to do it,
Raw
right?
wisdom?
Yeah, wisdom plus your proficiency.
So that's a 9 plus 8.
It's not good.
Plus-
Seven,
Strength is a little bit
Let's
less
see,
than
nat
mine,
20.
though.
Jesus.
Yours is not
This is the
very
best
high,
put-on
so
wheel
I'm
you've
like-
ever seen.
Yeah.
I have
I was
not only
my app's just
put the
old.
wheel
I
on, I
haven't
think it's
updated it yet,
carpenter.
so I don't know what
I
my push
nat 20
whatever it
plus
is.
8.
It is the straightest you've ever seen a wagon wheel.
I'm just like.
It is done within a minute, and it is no matter how much you try to wobble it, that thing is stable. Whether or not this is supposed to be a spare, it looks like it was meant to be on this cart. In fact, it puts the other wheel to shame. You've done this before.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Father is the Bella's carpentry up in Assyria. Yes.
Thebellas.
Yeah,
I know that name.
Really?
ton.
Well, of course, I'm a merchant.
Well, I'm sure my father would be happy to hear that.
Wear that name with great pride. You said Solus, correct?
Correct. Son.
I'll remember that. Just wait till I tell my friends. Well, never mind. They're an Essamont, and I'm not probably. Yeah.
Given certain things.
Anyways.
I pray that they.
Carcass, let's
Alright.
try it off the road
Okay.
and see what.
Yeah, the two of you easily pull it off the road, throw some branches over it, bring it into the underbrush, and it's hidden.
How big is this cart? Is it enough to hold a party?
So it's a wagon. It could probably hold like 6-7 people sitting in the back, and then 2 people up front.
2-horse cart.
It's a 1 horse.
Well, perfect, because.
You could do
horse!
Oh my god!
Wait, we just hit it.
So maybe he stops you halfway, and he's like, wait.
I'm like.
Oh, heavens. Well, y'all are full of surprises.
War horse, so I'm large.
Yeah, no, you can pull this thing. It can definitely take 2 horses, but 1 can definitely do it.
Did Harkin even know he could do that?
I mean, I've seen you change into a spider, and that's it.
Carcass definitely knows.
Yeah, I mean the
Yes.
giant anaconda.
Yeah.
So
He's just kind of staring like.
He does that sometimes.
That's.
Yeah.
Just like
So it's
on a
not
web?
just the spider.
Yeah, he can do a lot. He's been an anaconda at one point. It's just
Right.
thing.
I'm a nice,
we'll get there with much better time.
nice, like, tan horse with long, blonde, luscious locks. A super big build, meant for war.
And being sexy.
Trying to not pull literally every feelings. I'm just like, onto the wagon, like, hook me up, bro.
Come on, Solus. And then Carcass goes over to Solus and starts leading him like
You know, I don't have a saddle on me.
You can just get
Grab
around
it
with
with
a
a
coil.
I guess
The mane.
Yeah,
I'm tugging on your locks a little bit, just kind of pulling you, you know.
like sus eyes, like, bro.
I'm sending you guys
Hey,
the
you're on a
letter.
saddle, so how are we gonna attach you to this cart?
Whoa.
It's got broken straps.
Swordfish. I'm not gonna say anything because I'm a horse now, so.
I've got some rope. You could possibly just fashion into him.
I'll just start biting.
Chomping at the bit.
I think I know who can do this, and Cargus is going to kind of clutch his holy symbol that's the wrapped around his neck, the mossy stone. He's gonna clutch it, and he's gonna take the broken reins and kind of hold them near each other, and he's gonna cast mending on the reins.
So these did not go together before.
Okay.
Now I'm not saying this won't work. It's working, but it's gonna be much shorter than a typical lead.
Okay.
So you're gonna be probably like kind of bumping with the cart. Yeah. As you walk, it'll be a little uncomfortable, but it'll work.
Okay.
As the pieces of leather, the straps are mended into one, allowing for it to be put over and attached to your body.
In my ride.
And then like I start attaching like the reins to like Solus so he can be attached to the cart, whatever.
Yes.
And
You better not whip me though. Just like give me that look.
I'll cast Mage Hand, and we'll just give you a good tap if we need anything.
I like the nice touch instead of the I got you. I'm like, ah!
Rears up and just kicks whoever's driving.
Yeah, I'm close enough to like probably.
Oh
knock the
yeah,
cart
take
off.
your head off.
All right. Well, the 6 of you are now on the cart.
Horse is 18 strength.
Cargus is gonna walk next to the cart. He's not gonna. He doesn't want to put too much weight on the cart.
Yeah, you can do it.
I weigh almost 300 pounds. So.
Yeah, it would definitely be.
And with the cart, you
could-
can't go full horse speed anyway.
Yeah, it could probably carry you, but with that much, it'd be slower.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know how to calculate this. I have an 18th strength.
You got it. With the wagon, you'd be able to pull even more
Yeah.
because the wheels. As a war horse, you can carry everybody.
I'm wondering if Harkin is also walking this because he's also a bigger.
One of
dude
you
as
on
well.
your own could go on. Like if both of you aren't on there, one of you can. So
Okay.
if he's up there, he's up there.
Yeah. So Cargus is gonna walk alongside the cart. Cargus is barefoot, by the way. He doesn't have shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just
Probably stepping on a few rocks, but
Yeah. Well, it doesn't bother him too much since he's kind of used to it.
okay. I didn't know if it was like on purpose or you don't have shoes.
No. He always. Does.
Oh, then never mind. You've got the rough soles for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of walking next to Solus, like as they're adventuring. He gives him some pats and scratches.
I mean, you're not complaining, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm like, not like an animal, you know.
But it feels kind of good.
Yeah.
I have 21 hit points just in case you shoot me or something like that.
I punch you.
Well, yeah,
I rolled for it.
there are bandits within 20 minutes, is what Ander understands from. Or no, I wasn't there when he said that.
Yeah.
20 minutes ago, he was attacked.
Yeah, but I wasn't there when he said that.
So
Yeah.
I had a question about so if he's a horse, right? So he's polymorphing like into a beast. Could speech of beast and leaf apply here? Like I can communicate with, though not understand, beasts and plants, and then have advantage on charisma checks and influence them. Or would he still be a?
So he can still understand common.
I can still understand.
And that's what that
you.
does, right?
Huh?
So that speak with beasts and leaf means you can speak to them, but you can't understand them, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be able to understand anything he's trying to say
So
on
I can
horse.
just use telepathic speech and still fully understand what he's
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beast speech, though, I think lets you all hear and understand animals as well. Though I don't know what that ability.
And with that, as the party starts to take off, we're going to take a quick break. Because there are cookies. then, back to it we go. So the 5 of you are now on this wagon with
Solus taking charge.
Froth Tarama, the man who you saved. And you're heading north.
Trauma?
Froth Torama. Torama.
He's got trauma now.
Barrow trauma?
Yeah.
See does.
Froth at the mouth.
As the cart, pulls off and starts to hit the road, just a little bumpy. And 5 minutes in, you just barely miss. There's this large pothole in the cart. Just hits it for a second, and those of you on it, kind of bounce. And when it does, a pouch that hanging off the side of Froth's, whatever. He's not sitting at the front. He's kind of sitting in the back, letting you guys do whatever you're doing with the cart. Falls onto the floor and spills, and a bunch of valuable gemstones just fill up the the floor, probably 8 to 10 shiny gems. You can just tell looking at them they're polished and definitely worth some stuff. And he quickly packs it away and looks you all over.
Everyone's just like,
Perhaps you should keep better hold of your things.
More importantly, so what were the bandits really trying to steal?
I mean, as I said, I transport gems. Typically, we hide them within the grain to, anybody looking at our stuff immediately won't see anything. That's why.
Andrew
Stuff
reaches
and
into
roll.
his bag and pulls out All About Intention.
Yeah.
And props open the book right in front. Obviously, props open the book right in front of him. It's interesting. And just making sure. These bandits,
he's like,
they attacked you from the... Well, I guess they would have attacked you from the east, right?
It would have been the west.
That's correct. I'm just trying to throw him off his
Roll
game
me
a little bit.
roll me a.
shuts book, case closed.
What is it called? It's an insight. Roll me an insight.
Ooh, that's something I'm good at. I like when that's the case. Oh, well, not great. That's a 14.
That's not terrible. No?
I mean, he seems genuine. He doesn't seem like maybe a little bumbling, maybe a little older, comfortable with the road in his older age, but he doesn't seem like he was lying about the gems and the grain, And honestly, it's a pretty common tactic that some of you that are familiar with merchants, they'll hide more valuable items within cheaper items, if they're obviously coming from a mine, they might fill their stuff with, cobble to disguise it as just a cobble shipment for towns and stuff, but deep underneath are a ton of gems.
Andrew just closed the book. My apologies. I'm mainly just making sure there aren't any other reasons the bandits may be after you or wanting the job finished.
Well, I understand. I mean, I have no reason to suspect that they'd come back for me. It seemed random, and they didn't even chase me down. They took my stuff and my horse and ran.
Harkin's kind of wiping the wolf blood off of his swords with a dirty rag. He's like, so what makes those gems special enough to store in a secret compartment?
That's not what he pulled out of the compartment. It's
The
what he
wheel.
pulled out of the compartment was a leather satchel that flipped down and clasped. This was just a bag, like a coin purse.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the same.
No,
Okay,
no,
never
but
mind.
it's an understandable misconception because
Okay, never mind. It doesn't.
no, absolutely.
So, what were you worried about them finding?
Roll me a persuasion.
That one. Fuck you, bitch! Jumps off the car.
Let's go with a 24.
Damn. That is what she does. God.
He kind of looks across at the four of you.
She's just so beautiful. He's just like,
By the way, I'm still outside the cart.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, you're walking side by
Yeah.
side. You're probably peeking over the side. You're tall enough to be able to see over.
Oh,
Unless-
is it not like an open? Or,
It's an open wagon.
Oh, it's an open.
Oh,
okay,
okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I thought it was like a
Not
closed,
what I-
No, it's not a
Same
covered
car.
wagon. It's just the flat bottom benches on the side, and a little bit of lip in the back to keep barrels and crates from coming out.
So I guess every now and then he's kind of glancing back at the conversation.
Yeah, no, you're basically at head level with the rest of them because of how tall you are. Well, you had ample opportunity to take it off me as it is. Honestly, I have no idea what to do with this. He just pulls out this leather satchel. an item that I won when playing some Liar's Dice up north. But I don't know. They told me it was magical, and I haven't had the guts to open it since. I don't know what it is. I just keep it on me at this point.
You're kidding.
No.
You won something and you didn't look to see what it was?
No, I did. It's a deck of cards.
No.
Ander sits down and he pulls out his mundane rock.
There's a reason why you haven't drawn the cards yet, Connor.
If you don't mind, I don't even need to see it. I just need you to keep it here in front of me.
Oh my God. Please be it.
And if you could all keep it down, I hold
I'm
the
a horse, okay?
stone in my palm, open faced, and I'm going to take 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic as a ritual, just to confirm my suspicions.
So you're touching it?
Or I don't have to touch it. It's a 30-foot radius around me.
Oh, detect magic, not identify. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't even identified.
But yes, my material component is a mundane rock.
Hell yeah.
Nice. Helps me sense magic. Cool, because, you know,
Yeah.
material
It's your
versus
control.
the-
Yeah. Okay.
My passive perception 18, would I hear this conversation going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's a quiet road, you know. Boom, boom.
You probably wouldn't be able to look over your
No,
shoulder.
I'm not metagaming,
I'm not
but
looking.
Ander is specifically like worried that it could be something used to scry us, or it could be something insanely dangerous and evocation based. So Ander is taking the proper
Yeah, you
precautions.
just won yourself a pocket bomb.
Okay, so over the 10 minutes, you know, he plays along. He's whatever.
Well, just like,
He looks worried as you guys are like all staring at it like it's a bomb. Although the three of you have no reason to think it's anything.
I mean,
Right.
I heard magic and I don't like magic.
Yeah.
Really, so I'm kind of wary.
And I mean, I would argue that there is no way in hell that any of you could ever know what this is.
Oh,
Yeah.
certainly
This
not.
is very much one of a kind.
Yeah.
Well, probably. But
Does this have something to do with earlier? Or
with what?
with
It's because we were upset that he put Umber Hulks on us. So
No.
I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
I do.
no? You weren't in here.
With earlier.
It was when everybody else walked out of the room and.
I'm not going to answer that question.
There it is.
Oh no, that was stupid.
Plead the fifth.
Fair enough. I was just curious.
Sorry. Anyways,
I didn't think there was a school associated with it. Actually, I also just realized, is her magic like outwardly different than mine? Would I be able to detect
when
an
she
anomaly?
casts it, no. However,
That's a good question.
do you have any? Are you casting any spells at the moment?
Mage hand.
Like it's actively happening?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just hanging out.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
ready. It's
okay.
by me. So in case. we need to,
Okay, so let's go ahead and start with this. So you're going to be able to. I mean, you see a faint aura, right? You can feel there's a faint aura. It's faint. There's not much to it around this little leather satchel, and then you notice, there's this trail of magic that you expect, except that it's strange. Typically, when you detect magic, it would be going through the limiter, where you could physically see the pulses.
Yeah, like
before
like
it
a
reached
blood.
the limiter.
Yeah.
It's bypassing the limiter completely.
Whoa.
Hers?
She's not using a limiter. It's just sitting there.
Whoa.
And you know this.
Yeah.
I did not.
She the traces of magic just flow freely, and they do pulse, and she simply just moves with them as the magic flows out, and you can see the pulses. You can feel the pulses kind of flowing out, but she's in very much control, and this is much more, this is
Overwhelming.
yes, in a way.
What about the cards?
Yeah. So, is there anything you want to focus in on?
Yeah. Yeah. Specifically, I was focusing on the cards. I might have just caught up the whiffs of her next to me in the periphery. But once I make a mental note that she's not using her limiter, and I need to ask her about that later, because I did have one brief spell where my limiter got taken off, and I don't know how it happened. Maybe it's something similar. But after that, I frown for a second, and then I really lean in towards the bag and just try. I know you said it was overwhelming, but is it power radiating from it, or
From her or from no
From the bag.
The bag, it's not. It's very mundane.
Okay,
It's just
or not the bag, the contents of the bag.
yeah. It's
My
just
apologies.
a soft magic. Like there's magic here.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So the overwhelming was her, I guess.
Yes, it
That's
wasn't
what I
her.
was-
It was the pulsing because the current state of the weave is overwhelming, and it's, since it's not being limited by this limiter.
So yeah,
it's-
I guess I initially like focused on her unintentionally, thinking it was
Mm-hmm.
the item, and then when I recentered myself, and I was like, wait a second, it seems not that powerful, honestly. Still strange though. There's not a school of magic associated with it, right?
I'm finding out right now.
Yeah, no worries at all.
I think that's a bunch of them, right? Conjuration, maybe.
I don't think it does. I don't think it has.
I don't think it is. It's probably like, good luck.
No, there is no specific schools you try to focus in
Yeah.
on. In fact, maybe if there is, you're distracted by the pulsing. Roll me a perception check.
That is a 2.
Habits.
Yes, I like furrow my brow again. I'm like, it should be fairly safe. I'm not sure, but it's just confuddling is all. It's late. We'll be in town soon. We're judging by the horse. We'll be there sooner than anticipated, and we'll need to plan for that. But Froth, your bag is safe to open.
Okay.
Let's open it then.
Perhaps when we get to town. I mean, we're
Maybe
so
sure.
close as it is, and I don't want to lose whatever may be inside.
Do I have to stop this card?
I'll
turn this card
there's
around.
like about 5 minutes that pass, and I'm still not letting it go.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I just lean over. Brasinia, I know this is a deeply personal question. Can I see your spell book? Actually, you know what? Let me just show you something from mine. And I scroll in the margin of one of the pages of A Beginner's Guide to Abjuration. It just says, I know.
Virginia starts killing him.
How does Presinia read? I mean, is she just...
Presinia glances at the writing and just kind of casually just dismisses it. Not like she's still like thinking about it and inside like, oh no. But outwardly is very cool about it.
Everything is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just glancing at that, I say, as long as you're careful with it, you can look at my book.
Yes, and I specifically I flip open mine to like an empty page, and I just start kind of just glancing at the spells because we both have shield. So I guess I kind of like flip
You
to
opened
shield.
her spell book. Is it empty?
It was my mother's.
Oh. Okay.
And yeah, so I like.
What was your mother's school of magic? Evocation.
Sure.
Okay. But I flip to shield and I look, and I'm sure every wizard's formulae is slightly different.
Oh yeah. We had an entire discussion about that.
It's strange, actually. Roll me a Arcana.
Thank you, Jesus. This is a plus 10. 14.
Yeah, wait.
I didn't roll good, but that's the thing. I could roll a 2 and still have a good roll.
Well, you just even with a quick glance, there are spells in here that you catch little snippets, and some of them seem like they'd be below, your, like like something you could easily pick up.
Okay.
But you can't quite make heads or tails of some of this. Like it would require. It almost seems like it would almost require a decoder. Like it is very well protected scrolls. Whoever had this was not a novice or an apprentice even. Maybe even not like somebody even experienced, but somebody who had mastered the art of whatever they were doing.
Yeah, I
mean,
just
this
swallow
is-
hard when I come to terms with this.
Like, this spellbook could be... The value of the spellbook is, finding one of these is the equivalent of finding, the deed to an entire, nation. Like, this by itself
She's
is...
already like, wait!
Well, she has no idea.
I know.
Well, yeah, and
And, the thing is, for you, this isn't uncommon.
Right.
and Ender like gets ready to speak, and then instead he dagger eyes you again.
So, what little you can pull from it, I mean, there's obviously Fireball in there. But, I mean, you're getting up to, 5th, 6th level spells.
High magic.
Yeah. And that's the max. That's the highest it goes. But, for this world, that is some of the most powerful, potent magic.
I've laid eyes on.
Yes. Very much so.
Holy crap.
I'm doing the same look from earlier when I did the fake smile. I'm looking at you intently now. Waiting for
Yeah.
you to reach out
Yeah.
into my brain.
And I just
You leave me on red. You literally looked.
no using telepathic speech. I just say stop staring.
Did you write this?
How powerful are you? You're scaring me.
I don't feel that I should answer that right now.
Pulls out his book of insight.
I'm sorry. We can talk later, but this is well
Beyond what I thought you were capable of. You got him.
And then I realize everyone else has been watching
car
this.
stops.
Well, because it's an odd interaction, out of
Right.
nowhere.
absolutely.
Not so good.
No, and then I make an overt motion to hide my book from the rest of you. You wouldn't understand. This is dealing with the arcane and the complex formulae required to cast these spells. It's just interesting how two wizards approach the same problem.
Yes.
Do you want to roll me a persuasion?
No, I'm not. That's a bad lie.
halfway
and-
cleaning the sword, just kinda
That's a bad lie, and I think Ander knows that everyone knows it.
Yeah.
Well, Solus is not Solus. Barrett is aware.
Oh, yeah, Barrett's very
Yes.
aware. You know.
Yeah, so I understand why this interaction is
Yes.
taking place at the very least.
Yeah. And there's something different. To the extent of which...
Again, I don't.
You don't give a
I
shit
have the
about
faintest knowledge of magic, but I avoid it. So it's kind of a know thy enemy thing, but also.
Are we almost there? I feel like. Well, I was worried we were going to get jumped by those bandits, but since that didn't happen, perhaps we should come up with. Christ. Froth. How do we put this? I think we should let Froth know about us.
About what?
Stops card.
Well,
Remember how we spoke about the Assyrian Empire and how we just came from there?
Did you speak of that? That specifically?
No.
or not the
No.
Assyrian Empire,
Not the-
from
this is
Bracky.
From Bracky.
Okay, I was like,
Sorry.
what?
When things went south, we left rapidly.
You're wanted. That's fine. I was worried it was going much worse.
Oh.
I mean, it mean no harm to
Did you
anybody. It
assume?
just happened.
Perhaps we might adopt different names while in town. I just prefer you not reveal our true names to anyone.
Don't worry about it. You saved my life, and as far as I'm concerned, you're good people. So,
Start slowly picking up the cart now. Okay.
I thought I was about to get jumped, though.
If you're looking for a name for me, you can call me Quirkus.
Quirkus.
Oh, quirky.
Oh. Would you prefer we part ways or stick together? Because I could just not even
I
have
believe.
picked up your names, if you'd rather. But
Believe for the moment stick together.
I understand.
At least until we get your card back somewhere safe. Of course, if you feel unsafe, you may leave at any time.
I think you've also had a long day, so I'd like to buy you a drink.
Absolutely. Sure. I mean,
Sorry, I've been so.
who am I to deny? No?
It was a childhood nickname, but you will, I guess, use Zilch.
Heard that one.
Are you going by Barrett or changing something else?
Just Barrett. Doesn't matter.
Zilchiaro.
Quercus.
Quercus. Quercus.
Quercus.
Quackers. You're also a furball.
Oh, man.
Oh,
That's good.
And then,
Glaucus.
Presinia, do you have a preferred name?
Glaucus. Giant spears.
Currently using a name randomly.
I'll go by.
Petunia.
I'll just be addressed as Lady Cirith.
Ladies?
She just has like a bunch of fake names written on her hand. Just going through the list.
there's one kind of smudge.
Pulls out all of her
Present was
passports.
Present was one of her past fake names.
And crosses that one out.
Oh, we're being lords and ladies. I want to be a lord.
You're a horse.
I know.
That's not what
This is Lord Hoof. The pet.
Alright. With only a little bit longer on the road, you finally do see torchlight up ahead. The sun has at this point set.
How many hours has it been?
The moons have started to rise. You've been on the road for probably about 3 hours.
Okay. That being said, I can only shapeshift wild shape for 2 hours, so I would have to revert back after the 2 hours. Like,
It's unnerving every time.
okay.
I think also Carcass would kind of be used to that, and kind of like when you reverse back, just kind of pat him on the back, kind of like if he was like drunk and he was like needing to vomit or whatever. Like, he's like, come on, buddy, you can do it.
When did you learn to do that?
He's been able to do it for quite a while. I've seen various forms.
As you all pull up to the village, somebody steps. There's a gate and a wall around it. It's not. It's made out of wood. It's a large, wooden logs. They're. It's very, very ornate. It looks nice, and it makes sense for a guild built around shipbuilding. They're definitely similar
Woodwork,
architecture. Yeah, carpenters and shipwrights.
How much of product goes down here from the Fabella?
A lot. This is actually a logging corporation, or not corporation. I apologize. This is a logging in the centralized area.
Yeah.
That being said, the Fabella Corporation does not have their own business here. This is held by the Hammerfell. The Hammerfell Industry, the LLC company or whatever, which is a rival, but respectful rivals.
Oh yeah, good part. Yeah, good business.
Anyways, so you guys, the cart, the wagon pulls up to the into the town, and somebody steps out. Hail, hail! Would you like me to take care of your cart and horse for you? And this is, it looks like it's a stable hand, somebody who probably, does this. They'll just take the cart and the horse and lock them away for the night. And the Froth kind of,
Hail! How are you?
Quite good. Please allow me to take your horse. Only a few copper.
The horse is shaking his head no.
He's quite ornery, and I'm a little light on coin. We can buy him ourselves.
If you insist, but just inside, you'll find us on the left.
Horse is now nodding.
Seavery's stables. I can't think of anything.
Sir Connor designs things to create the most awkward interactions
Yeah.
possible.
It's a great time.
Okay.
It's intentional, I swear.
As you pass in, and despite the fact that it is night, it is quite busy. It is a work day for most. You can see many people returning home. A lot of the homes here are built in ways to allow for quick commute to work. So they're vertical, like multi-level, multi-family homes. Semi resemblant of apartment buildings, but more like each floor is a new family. And it's, not bare bones with the trade that's here. They're, full kitchen, full living room area, as well as, maybe another room for reading or whatever, a bathroom and a bedroom or two. So they're very modest, but quaint homes that are better than most you'd find in like a hamlet or a village. The guild is very good about taking care of the people and attracts a lot of guild artisans this way. As you pass through, there aren't many stands, or it's not like a bustling town where people are trying to get you to buy their wares. A lot of people here are working, with their hands throughout the day. So everybody you're passing is really paying mind. There's a butcher with a leg of some sort of meat, most likely a cow or something, on a rope that he's carrying with him. That just passes you by. Some what looks like maybe cobblers or leather workers outside of their shops, taking care of the last few things before heading home for the night. And some children still playing out in the streets, one of which, his mother comes out and fetches him and takes him home.
Are we still in the cart, or do we park it?
At this point, you're still going with the wagon, because,
I
unless
don't
you're...
really know where I'm going. I'm just kind of going
Oh,
for the street. I'm just like, where...
I'm eyeing for the place called, I believe it was the Grey Lodge.
Grey Lodge.
Mhm,
Yes.
The Grey Lodge?
Yes, I'm
That's
kind
where
of
we should.
squinting as it's starting to get dark.
Yes, so it is getting dark, but there are ample lights
Okay.
around. Mostly lanterns, some torches. And at this point, near the edge of the gate, it looks like the candle maker has finished his rounds of lighting all of the lamps and is finishing the last two. Puts out his tinder twig and returns on home, leaving the streets flooded with the orange yellow light of the candles and the purple light of the moon above, as the aurora of Dragon's Breath spreads throughout the sky, reflecting the sun that reaches around.
I use telepathic speech to talk to Solus and say, find the Grey Lodge, lead us there.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
So as you head down the main road, there's just one large middle road and then a bunch of offshooting. It looks like this is built kind of in layers. It started close to the center and then is built out. There are smaller walls and gates to pass through, but you aren't getting in any trouble. Carcass, as you're walking, you are, looking around. You got a 22 pass perception. You notice wanted posters with your guys' faces on them. And a ton of them. They are quite prevalent.
Okay. So, Froth, where would you like us to take your cart? This is your cart. I'm assuming you'd like it
As long as you
somewhere.
find shelter for the night, I'm fine with whatever accommodations.
Do you know of any stables around here that we can?
I think the Weaking Star, the Inn and Tavern, it's fairly nearby, has its own stable. We could go there for the night.
He doesn't know it's a Grey Lodge. That's where we're going to.
Have you heard of the Grey Lodge, perhaps?
Yeah, that's right on the water. It's older. We could go there. It's, I guess with your situation, it would make more sense. So yeah, I could guide the way. And
No one's been pulling, actually,
No,
sitting in the
right.
car. The
No.
car's just been pulling by itself.
Well, Carcass is kind of
Walking around
Yeah.
half-heartedly.
It looks like the horse is just well trained and following.
That's right. I'm a well-trained animal, baby.
Maybe some impressive, to Carcass as he walks by side by side without holding any reins. What a great horse trainer.
Of course, stops.
The fuck. But
Your horse is creepy, bro.
are you actually gonna stop to stare people?
Is
Okay. I mean,
I'll
it's,
do it the first time. After someone
roll me an
says,
intimidation.
That's a great horse trainer.
just being sure. Was Carcass the only one who saw the wanted posters?
If anybody else had a past perception over 17.
No.
I saw it.
How prevalent are they?
So you're walking down a main road with a lot of stuff going on. It's
Oh.
late at night. The
Yeah,
candles
where
are
there's a lot
more
to-
for lighting up
yeah.
the streets. And these are going to not be on the main road themselves, but kind of in alleys on boards and
Yeah.
stuff. You'd have to be really looking for them.
Yeah, I was just making sure I didn't see
Yeah.
it.
Now, say once you get off the cart and start to head inside, everybody will start seeing you.
Gotcha.
Because you're no longer just in the middle of this large pathway. But
Got it.
from where you are, the only person who could really see them would be Carcass, who's walking around and with a high perception.
6.
They kind of...
The horse is doing that like smile thing.
Oh, the weird one.
The weird like toothy smile straight at him. Have you seen that photo of the? I guess it was the Olympic horse that like
Yes.
screwed people over, and there's that picture of the jockey
yeah.
crying on its back, and it's just got this like face on, like it knew what it did.
Yeah.
Looking for a horse.
Don't mind
So-
him. Don't mind him. He's just friendly. Is all.
Heads inside.
The horse is going to be staring out their window.
Froth easily leads the 5 of you and really you to the Grey Lodge. So essentially, as you are heading down this path, it's a straight shot directly to the lake. And as you get close to the lake, you start to see these large masts peek up over the sides of some of the taller buildings. And as you come into view, there's a ton of paths that lead out into the lake, but up away from them, built on stilts, essentially, are these giant, like, galleons and fishing boats and all sorts just being built all throughout this large village. And there are people up on them working in some places, working by, they have some stone around their neck that's lit up, or they've got a lantern hanging nearby, and they're checking the rivets and sawing away at leftover scrap on some of the wooden pleats that have been put up. But for the most part, it looks like the work sites are shut down, except for a few guards that are walking the perimeter. As you get closer to the very center, there are a lot more guards around the docks than anywhere else, which makes sense for somewhere that is guild paid, guild protected. Their equipment is going to be the most important.
Do you have a hood on or something, bro?
No, yeah, he's just straight up a fur.
I do.
And even if he was disguised, he'd use the Carcass voice.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody will know his voice. But, I mean, if his face is over on the posters and he just has common clothes on...
As
Carcass doesn't have a high intelligence.
He's
8.
these
Like, wow, that sucks.
boats on stilts, they have these paths down the side, these almost like concrete walls meant to, it looks like lead the boat down into the water when construction is finished. Fairly common with places where boats are built if you haven't seen them before. And then there are these large grates, these gates at the tops of them that could look like they could be lifted to release a flow of water to flood the path to let the boat to easily float down. As for the Grey Lodge itself, you're led to the right, where eventually you run into this building that has grayed with age, most likely leading to its name. This multi-level building with all these weird offshoots, some over the water with stilts going down, some coming out into the road themselves, looking like it's just added on over time. Was most likely at one point a beautiful lodge that almost every sailor came to, but now it's more worn down. That being said, there's still a fair amount of traffic in and out. There's loud laughing, and you can see sailors in their garbs stumbling around and having drinks and fighting out in the streets. It is a rough and rowdy crowd. The building itself, again, slightly disheveled, but it says on the front, "The Grey Lodge," and behind it, or on the other side, much more worn, it says "The Melting Spoon," most likely an older alias. It's essentially it was on the wall, and whatever lettering was peeled off, leaving a discoloration where the letters were. But most likely renamed to the Grey Lodge more recently. Well, this is it. I guess I should see if they have accommodations for the wagon. Anybody want to come in with me?
We'll go.
Lady. Cirith? Alright.
Oh. Andrew takes off his glass. And they're just for show.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like he realizes now, like, oh yes, we're using the fake names, and takes off his glasses.
Now, as the wagon kind of pulls up in front, a lot of people were kind of looking at it, but not really giving you any trouble. But there were a lot of eyes on you, and as you're kind of glancing over them, all of you start to notice these pieces of parchment pinned up all over the place. And there are a few recognizable faces. Some aren't you. There are definitely blue hoods, and some that say, like, Assyrian spy, or enemy faction agent, something like that. With plenty of bounties, but then your eyes do fall on a few familiar faces. The ones that are very, very accurate are Ander and Solus. There is one for Barrett, but it's a little... could really be any Dragonborn. But that being said, there aren't that many Dragonborns around either, so it's,
Yeah, it kind of...
Right. You do stick out, but it's not... You look at it and you're like, who the hell is that?
Is there names on them?
Yours does not.
Yeah, I didn't tell my name.
Solus does. Ander does. From your previous incarceration. And then there's a Furbolg. And it looks semi like you. But again, there's not a lot of Furbolgs around. And so it's just general features like the non-human ears and the, that kind of thing. And then there's not one for Virginia.
Interesting.
I'm sure they have Cargus' name on it too. Cargus' name on it too. I mean, because we were all in prison.
No.
Oh, okay.
It does not have Carcass's name, so it's just Ander and Solus whose names are on it. That being said, the bounties are set to 1,000 gold pieces for the lot, and
I put myself in.
for all four. Now, remember, you are level 5s, level 6s, which is extremely... You're 4?
No. You said all 4.
Oh, whatever. You're level 5s, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we're level 5.
Which is extremely powerful compared to normal people. So you would not be an easy group to take in. And then individually, you're worth 200 apiece.
I'm worth so much more. I'm offended.
Are you still the horse?
I'm just like taking the wagon up to the
You like neigh or whatever? Like,
I'm gonna stay in the cart, actually. Make sure everything's okay.
I'm looking for a place to put the cart so I can turn back to a person.
And that
Carcass is looking for like a shelter.
So-
So yeah, just presumably.
Me and Froth, I believe.
This is my wife. She's a little low energy.
Froth looks a little uncomfortable walking around with these sailors and stuff. A little out of his element. But leads the way inside, bumping into a few people. There's, vomit on the ground. There, on the outside. There's... And as he goes to open the door, suddenly the door swings open, and this large woman steps out, holding a man by the back of his shirt and his belt, and just chucks him out into the street, and he goes sliding. And stay out! And turns and steps back inside. And the door closes behind him.
Silence.
Shall we go in?
We shall.
And
I would
Froth
love to speak
pushes
to you.
in. And kind of sighs. Okay, guess we're talking to her. And she steps back behind the bar, and begins quickly pouring drinks into mugs that are semi-clean. There's a little bit of filth on them, but for the most part, the inside might be clean. Just pouring drinks and sliding them out across pretty deftly, honestly. And between pouring, goes and starts trying to clean another mug before somebody orders something. Just like, fuck it. Pours another drink into it and just passes it out. And pays you no mind when you step up.
Excuse me.
What do you want?
I would like some room and board for my companions and myself.
One second. And she turns and finishes pouring another mug of what looks like some sort of ale. Hands it to a sailor who's stumbling around and kind of blinking. Puts it in his hand and he goes to drink it and just pours it down his shirt. And then drinks another and drinks what's left. She just, looks at him in pity. And then turns to you. When she turns, you realize it's a white-skinned half-orc. She's got 2 large fangs, and I mean by white I mean like actual like the color white, like it is pasty, with hints of blue. And she turns, she looks at you, and she's got her hair down in one big braid that terminates about halfway down her back. She's large and very muscular, and has on her her shirt fits well. Apron's a little small, and on it it's just like an anchor insignia, which the Grey Lodge, that's their symbol. How many?
6, and we have a cart that will need to be put away.
6, 2 gold.
I believe my name might precede me. Lady Sirith?
Roll me a persuasion.
What? 90 foot?
Oh, 9.
Oh.
I have. 9. Did you safe haven? Okay.
Use your inspiration.
1 gold, 5 silver.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
She kind of a little annoyed by that, but whatever.
Damn ladies.
Damn ladies. Woman, am I right?
She takes it. Got customers to attend to, and drops it into a pouch after quickly counting it, like half counting it. Drops it into the pouch and then just tosses you 2 keys.
Thank you very much.
Room 9, room 10, 2nd floor, and then just the stables across the street. Just tell them I sent you. Oh,
Who sent?
Gert.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Silence horse. Sorry. How do you spell it?
Gert. Gert.
In the meanwhile, I'm asking Caucus, can I borrow those? And I'm pointing at like the rags that you were wearing.
Oh yeah, I've just been at
What he was wearing before his tunic.
Yeah.
And I wrap around my left eye, which has a distinctive cut underneath it.
The eye patch now, Kakashi? Bro?
Not even a cut. Okay. No, it's just a rag, essentially. Like, it looks like it was recently cut or something, I guess. But just covering it, because upon looking at my face, which is really accurate, I don't think my widow's peak is that bad. but yeah, like, immediately he's like scrambling, like, and he's taking my letter opener and cutting off a strip and tying it around.
Okay, and so I would like both of you to roll me performances.
Charisma.
I'm going to use the other dice this time.
Last time you made these guys roll?
You can choose between that and stealth.
That's okay, I'll take
14.
it. 8.
Yes, you actually did it!
Dang. And my robe's green as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you rolled an 18. And Carcass, you rolled a 14?
14. Okay.
Cork.
Quackis.
Quackis.
Our shield speaks to us.
Perfect. Froth looks at you.
Huh?
Satisfactory. Alright. And he leads the way out. And
Froth is sleeping with us.
Froth and Prosinia exit the inn, come to the cart. I guess the stable's over there, and he points to a building that, looking at it, it's got two big old barn doors that are sitting open. You can't really see what's inside. It looks like a wall. And the floor is, it makes sense. It looks like it could be you enter and stow your thing, or your wagon. It's just a long path, it looks like, that's lit up by a few torches.
Is there anybody in the barn?
So, from the outside, you can't tell. It's just like the barn doors just are open enough to be able to see the path.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm gonna go over there.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Yeah, it's a
start leading
single-story stable, and as you enter, there's like straw all over the ground. It stinks. Definitely smells like animal. That happens. And as you enter, you look to the left, and there's a desk. It looks like it was just a shelf that was repurposed. Halt! Stolen your horse
Of course
and wagon?
Yes, we are.
Just
He, my horse, he gets Riley sometimes.
Roll me a persuasion.
oh no.
17.
Oh,
Good roll.
Okay.
Or he was answering me for a second. And who's speaking is about a slightly taller than average dwarf. He's got an eye patch on,
Oh, God
a shaved head, and a beard, you might call it. Except it's really like
Scruff.
no, it's like thin. It's like not that much hair. Looks like he's balding on the chin.
The bald chinian.
Yeah. he's got a big old like scar right here, and that's kind of where most of the thinning is. Over here, it's still pretty full, but it's like black, like dark black. Well, cough up the coin.
Gert sent us, actually.
Oh, all right. Pick a stable.
You trying to vomit?
Does your horse is your horse sick?
No.
Roll. I don't know what to roll for that. I mean, your horse is it enchanted?
Oh, actually, yes. He does some tricks.
Up and down.
Keeps us entertained on the road.
We didn't really want a boring horse. We wanted a more lively one.
Well, just leave your cart over there and your horse and pick a stable.
Okay.
We might take him out for some errands first.
Do what you will. And you stow the wagon off to the side with all the others. There's some nice ones and some ones that look like they've been sitting there for a long, long time. And they're probably just abandoned or theirs. So, like, looking at this, it looks like at one point this was a larger open area that was surrounding this, but over time buildings have shown up around it. There's a small, like, semi-yard behind the shed, but the shed has about, like, 20 or so stables. So, I mean, it's fairly sized. I mean, each one isn't that cramped.
Yeah.
Back when it was built, it was probably very nice. And now it's fallen to the wayside, but it's still space for a horse to be put in. But
And are these like each like stall in the stable? Is there like a wall like covering the stall, or is it just more like open? And so if the guy like sitting at the desk like would he be able to survey the entire stable inside?
Not quite, no.
No. Okay.
He can see the path all the way down,
Yeah.
but like the stalls have walls high enough where the horses can't even see over them to avoid any, ones that might be nipping at the others from
yeah.
I'm
interacting.
going to use telepathic speech again and talk to Solus and say, don't change until we get out of here.
Look, I only got really probably about like another 30 minutes on this, so we gotta hurry up.
Kargas is gonna start leading Solus and the cart towards like the back of the stable.
Okay, so the cart was stored closer to the front.
But you're
okay.
walking.
Oh, okay, I'm
Yeah,
walking.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm gonna ask Brazania, does the old knight still have my staff?
I would. Yes.
It's laying in the floor of the wagon.
Okay. I've never been looked into the wagon.
I'll
because
grab
we
it.
can't turn, so
I'll grab it.
thank you.
So I'm gonna start leading Solus towards like the back of the stable, kind of like away from prying eyes, I guess.
I'm going to use telepathic speech to talk to Carcass and say it might be better to take him in an alleyway, so we're not leaving with an extra person than we came in with.
Oh, okay. he like isn't used to somebody talking in his head. He's like, okay.
Out loud.
yeah. Definitely speaking out loud.
He's, the dude at the desk sees him walking this way, and he goes,
Okay.
and then turns around and starts back.
Yeah. The dude at the desk is like, he's completely uninterested, not even paying attention to you guys.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'm walking back with the horse, and then I'm gonna turn around and then walk back again, and just come out the front with the horse. You know, because I mean, she mentioned like that you wanted to run some errands with him. So.
Mm-hmm. As you pass the desk, like he glances up and back down,
Okay. And
fiddling with something underneath the desk.
is there like a nearby like alleyway that Cargus can spot, or it seems like an alleyway?
Yeah. I mean, there's next to the shed itself. I mean, there's a little bit like maybe 10 feet of grass on either side before it finally hits the building.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of lead Solus into there and kind of check and see if there's any passergoers. Like
There is a halfling that's passed out against the side, and a pool of vomit next to him. And you know, as you're going to go in, a couple people do come out of the alley. It looks like they were just walking through.
Okay. And I guess just Solus and I are in this alleyway. I guess.
And the rest of us are just standing outside the stable, kind of waiting
We're just
for them.
standing outside the alleyway, kind of blocking the view.
Okay. I'm like face to face with Solus in this alleyway. I'm like, do you want to do it, maybe?
Oh. At the same time or immediately after, I guess, because he beat me to it, I pull out my blade of grass and I make the sound of glass breaking at the inn across the street.
Yeah. And when you do, like, one person nearby looks over and the rest just do not care. They're not even looking at you. They're all drunk, and you know, at this point the sun's down and everybody's just plastered.
Gotcha.
It is cheap beer and, you know, high energy.
I hand Solus back his staff.
Thank you.
Ooh, glad you're back to normal.
That was always me.
How many
you know,
rooms
look
were
the
we able
same.
to find?
We found. I acquired 2 rooms, so we'll need to divvy up who sleeps where.
Also, I've been seeing these posters around.
I have 2.
Yeah, about that.
We'll be fine.
Yes.
We'll be fine. What happened to your eye?
I hold up the poster of me that has a distinctive cut underneath my
I
eye.
let him borrow my rags.
Really? It's your face.
Yeah, and have you seen yours?
I mean, I glanced at it. Man, your widow speaks not that bad.
Thank you. And then, like, immediately, like, my hand goes to cover it.
Possibly, if we find some cloaks with hoods or some helmets, you could act as my guards.
We should be okay for the night. I think we should find out what this letter's about, and hopefully they might have
Agreed.
some way to help save us.
Do you
They
all
were in room 7.
Yes.
That's what the note said. Yes.
Well, we have rooms 9 and 10, so we'll be good and close.
Brilliant.
I'll just lift my handkerchief over my face and just kind of tighten it a little more. And put a hood up.
What do y'all think I should do? Kind of looking to you all, like, and like looking himself
Marcus,
upside down.
What was I to tell you this? I know you hate it, but just look like someone else. You can do that.
Remember
It's
that
okay, you have
time
a you have an elf form. You can be an elf.
Remember that time you were a guard? Don't be a guard, but do whatever that was, and then don't talk.
If you need like image, you know, like I'm gonna but look at this. Just be my brother. You can look like an elf. You have an elf. You have an elf form.
This didn't work well last time.
Just like be me with like darker hair or something.
All right. Cargus is gonna cast Sky Self.
Oh my god.
And he's going to try to take the form of an elf, and he's gonna try to best resemble Solus, but just with like darker hair brown.
I have like gold blonde.
There is a brief second of like this weird like happening in front of you, and then you're looking in a mirror, except with dark hair.
Oh, so sexy.
And right next to him is a poster with your face on it, and it looks just exactly. There's no colors on the posters, so it just looks exactly the same.
Hello. Or
Tarkin headbutts the nearest wall.
or should I keep talking like this, or should I?
And you know the voices.
Hello.
Maybe don't talk at all.
Just be a little taller, and your voice will sound fine.
Wait, hold on. Would I have to cast a Sky? Oh no, I can't.
You would have to cast it again to change.
Yeah,
But you can only do it once a
can't.
day.
I can only use it once per turn.
How long does it last?
No.
An hour.
But then-
Holy Toledo surprise, guys.
Yeah, I'm kind of like putting these together. I'm like, wow,
And
you look more like me than I look like me.
And you thought that was a good idea?
Okay, look, we have an evil triplet who's been on the run, and we're trying to bring him back to the good side.
All of
Wow.
I'm heading into the inn. I think we should head in one at a time, and he shouldn't go last. And then I like walk, and then I just make my way across
Wait,
the
I have a
street.
perfect idea. Don't worry, me and you will walk together.
Oh god.
But he
Just
just
leave the
said-
talk to me.
Okay.
Just don't go in last. You're through with me. Come on.
But yeah, I make my way over to the Grey Lodge first, and I'm gonna sit near. If I'm gonna kind of look around at everyone, not try to draw attention to myself, but like see where our rooms are, see where room 7 is, and then try to sit nearby around. If I can find a table. I mean, who knows how busy it is.
Right. So you're trying to find a table nearby what?
Room 7, where we're supposed to be meeting
So-
this person.
There are no rooms on this floor. That would be upstairs.
Oh, the second
Just the
floor.
second floor.
Got it. I will lean up against the railing on the second floor. Not like directly in front of it, but nearby our rooms then, since it's only a couple rooms down.
So as you step up the stairs and you hit that second floor, there's a note on the wall. Like it looks like it was like added in and just like pinned up there. It says floor 1.
Oh. Yes. And then I kind of like serve it. I'm looking down at the tavern beneath me. Specifically, Andrew's looking for someone, just like looking for irregular characters. And then like if anyone's going up the stairs, he'll just kind of glance their way to see if they're heading towards room 7. He's staking it out for you guys.
sort of
I don't want us to like go in there and then there's 5 guards, you know,
Roll me a perception check as you're
with
scanning
one
the room.
eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get full, whatever.
That's a 5.
Fitting.
I mean, it is a crowd. You know, it's not shoulder to shoulder, but pretty dang close. People like pushing to get to the bar, and Gert is just trying to get as many drinks as possible. Gert.
Her name is Regert.
Okay.
Yeah, now I'm just watching the door now because I want to see how each person
So
that comes
you
in
two
is
are next,
received.
and so I mean, you're just walking in. Are you pulling your, or are you walking in face
Make
shown?
this work. I'm gonna walk with my face shown.
Okay. As
Connor,
you
how do you even like work with this?
as you step out of the alley, it takes a few seconds, but a few people around you. Are you twins? I've seen your face somewhere before. That's so strange. We met, you know, and he's just kind of
I'm
stumbling
shaking his
around.
hand. I'm gonna give him. Here's some gold. Thank you. You look so good.
You gave him gold.
Yeah, a piece of gold.
Are you messing with me?
It's for you. I don't need it. I found it in the street.
How much gold did you give him?
1.
Distracted. He pockets it. You sure I don't know you? Both.
Cargus is standing next to him awkwardly.
He's staring at your chest because height.
Yeah.
Am I just like across the street witnessing this?
I can make myself.
Did you make yourself shrink too, or just disguise self?
Yeah, I
Okay,
can,
okay.
but it's only. I think I can only make myself shorter up to a foot, so I'm 6'6" now, instead of 7'6".
So you're taller than him, or you made the disguise self look like you're this tall?
I'm 6.
No,
so it's like he's my taller older brother almost because he's only 6 inches taller.
I mean,
than me.
twins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
we just be twins.
I'm just watching this unfold, I guess. From
Brother pushed a lot
sitting at the
harder.
entrance of the alleyway, watching them walk like 5 feet out and start interacting with us. Like,
Just a hand on your shoulder. Have a great night. Have a great night.
I'm back.
Cargus is nodding.
Someone's passing, heads off down the road to somewhere.
Nice.
You see him
We're gonna keep
turn, face a wall. And then start throwing up.
sees one of the water posters and goes, "Do I know you?"
Wait, I feel like I've seen you.
He's being right in front of those wanted places.
Yeah, he's literally staring at one of these fistings like,
Strange. Alright,
So we're gonna keep making our way towards them.
so you see them enter, looking
Not
relatively the exact same, and no disguising a face or anything. It's just blonde hair, brown hair,
and he's like 6 inches taller, but
how brow furrows a little bit more.
the one brow.
Cargus is just like he's looking around awkward. He's like awkwardly smiling, so he's like,
I'm awkward, so too. Like,
Twins. Alright, what about the other two of you?
I'm going to enter with Froth, just to.
You guys
Keep an
entered
eye.
before
And he's-
last time.
Yeah.
Too, so.
He seems to
Yeah.
know what you're doing and be fine with it,
Yeah.
He understands. He doesn't give you any trouble about it. Enters with you, and so everybody but Barrett's now entered. I guess you guys walk up to Ander?
Yeah.
Okay.
oh, I feel like we'd look up and like spot him like as he's like looking down
Yeah.
on us, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I go up there with him.
Yeah. And so there's like this railing that just overlooks this floor. So on this floor are rooms 1 through 5.
And as I am
Oh.
passing them
Yeah.
on this floor,
Badly
seeing
numbered.
them over the banister, I said, "Next floor, guys."
I'll be up in a minute. I'm
why can you
waiting
speak
on.
up into the loud down again?
Next floor.
I'll be up in a minute.
Okay, we'll meet you there.
Yeah. And where are you guys headed?
Room 7.
Room 7. Okay.
Oh.
And then
I wait for them to get a ways in, probably closer to the door, and then just kind of follow after.
Yeah.
Pull my head down a little bit.
once they're on either side of him, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he follows after he loses sight,
Mhm.
just kind of lumbering.
Yeah. And then, this large dragonborn just steps through the door. How tall are you? 7'7"?
6, so
Yeah.
7'7".
Just towering over everybody else. And, a lot of people
Big boy.
sizing him up,
How's the weather up there?
backing away, giving them room. You don't really have to push through, they just kind of let you walk. Very intimidating.
And Ander gives like kind of a low whistle and waves him up to the first floor and then points up.
As you pass, you notice for a second that Gert kind of looks you over. Doesn't say anything. She looks a little impressed.
She's like, finally a big guy.
He's like,
Exceptional.
Nah, he's not interested.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't. She doesn't make any sort of move.
Yeah,
Just
not-
kind of. It looks not like a adoring, more like a looks strong, that kind of thing.
It's like a warrior.
He kind of like
Mhm.
glances over at it and then just keeps moving towards the stairwell.
She gives you a nod.
She's like, you can get anyone room you want.
Ander
And then
waits
turns
to
back to
meet
her.
up with Barrett, and then I'll follow up or lead him up the stairs towards wherever they went.
Okay. So you guys get to floor 3, which is floor 2, according to the note
The tact.
Yeah.
tacked on the
You
wall.
know that they had to do that because someone made a stink about it.
And so the third floor, second floor, it's cut off from the red. Like so, the first floor has banisters that overlook the party or everything going on, but this floor it's a little the noise is deadened. The floor seems pretty thick timbers, and there are only 4 rooms on this floor. There's 7, 8, 9, 10.
Where's room 6?
Where is it? You didn't see a floor 6.
No, room
Or a room 6.
six.
You didn't
Floor
see a room
6.
6.
Yeah, it was 1 through 5.
So if you just go to the next flight, it says floor
Yeah.
6. It's just room number 6.
410.
Connor's like, I gotta use the bathroom real quick.
No. I mean, you didn't see
I'm just kidding.
you didn't see a room 6.
Odd.
It could be a janitor's closet. Repurposed.
So you're now alone on this floor. You're kind of taking it and making sure the whole group's here. Then you hear some creaking on the stairs. You look over and it's just somebody walking down from the floor above. And also, you don't know how much higher the stairs go, but it seems like at least another floor.
So, who's staying in which room?
You, me, and Andrew will take room 9. The other 3 can take room 10.
Understood.
Shall we take a few minutes to freshen up and then make our appointment?
We could at least check to see if they're there.
What
After you, Solus.
Should I go into the room? Or?
And then... I'm
You
sorry.
can do as you like.
Did
Somebody
we-
requested our presence here.
We didn't give him a name. He was not present. I'm Zilch Yarrow.
That's a cool name. I thought your name was Andrew. I'm just kidding.
Yes, but no, like, just essentially filling you in. We're all using assumed identities, and I used your real name because I didn't realize.
Well,
How about your Carcass?
then you're Solus.
No, I'm Quercus.
If you're doing the twins thing, it kind of works.
Oh.
They didn't have Carcass.
The apple hit a few too many branches on the way.
Just call me Belle, okay? Belle's fine, and you can be Orcus.
Okay. Wait, should I do with this voice or the other?
You can do your own voice. Who knows your voice here?
Okay.
A post-it doesn't say your voice.
What's a
Clown to
post-it?
clown communication. And I'm getting it in both ears here, bro.
Well, I mean, we can freshen up first. That's fine. I realize
I-
everyone's,
yes.
yeah. Showers sound nice. Maybe a drink or two. Yeah. I heard it's cheap here.
I'm down for that.
Meet back in the hallway in 15 minutes.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Agreed.
And
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Andrew makes his way over to room 9.
Yes.
And I'm kind of waiting for you with the key.
I hand Solus one of the keys, or the key to room 10 specifically, and then I go and unlock our door.
So me,
So 9 is across from 7, 10 is across from 8.
Dope.
so me, you, and Froth.
No, you, Carcass, and Froth, and then the 3 of us.
Oh, you three. Okay, I understand. Well, Froth, if you want to hit the hay or whatever you want, you can join us for some drinks downstairs. But here's the keys if you want to freshen up.
If you all don't mind, I might go see if I can buy a horse. I mean, I've
Yeah,
got a wagon
Of
and
course.
no horse.
If
Sure, then I'll take the key.
Well,
yes.
Could I drop off my stuff first?
Oh, sure, yeah. Oh,
I'll
yeah.
just-
Okay, you're not leaving. I understand.
Nah, I mean, I'm going to leave. I'm just
Maybe
Fuck
just pass it
He
to
just
him.
unlocks it, tosses his bag inside, closes the door, locks it, hands it back to you. Should I knock on your door when I get back, or
If you see them downstairs, then
we'll figure it out?
yeah.
I'm gonna
If you
go buy
don't
a
see us
horse.
downstairs, we'll be in either room 7 or room 10, so just come knocking.
Harkin kind of looks over at Froth. How much does a horse usually run?
I don't know. It depends on where and how good of a horse. But he,
You wanna find one
he
better than me?
shakes the gems.
Oh, it could be
I'm sure
good
one of these will do it.
No, you can't buy me.
That's
I pay you by the hour.
When we're all in the room together.
Good catch.
First off, Andrew takes off that thing. It was getting very annoying. Secondly, I realize we don't have a plan in case this is someone trying to apprehend us. Now, I can prepare Arcane Lock to lock us in there with them if there's just one, but the note says we, so we may be needing to expect more than one person.
Just knock on the wall next to us. How many are you?
And again, we're
Well, the wall
trying
next
to
to you
keep a
is
low
not.
profile, so sounds of a conflict will quickly draw the guards.
Understand.
Well. Your call, Andrew.
You're in a different room.
Yeah, it's up, yeah, you're older.
I'm asking the smart ones.
I thought you were still outside. I thought I didn't know you were in the room.
He's kind of
Y'all are
scratching
both
his chin
drinking.
and pondering.
I mean, there are ways to talk to people without causing a ruckus, if it comes to that.
Chinook didn't seem malicious in nature.
Agreed.
I don't think there's much to worry about, but
I can have some spells ready if they are necessary.
In case I do have to cast the lock, the password is Daffodil. It's the only way you'll be able to open the door.
understood.
Understood.
Now, a question for you two. What happened earlier on the car?
Well, Ander seems to have figured out a little bit of my...
The source was pulsing around the limiter. And I'm not judging you if you are a demon or something.
Holy!
I recently, when I had my lapse of sanity, somehow my limiter was removed, and I don't know how I did it. I just don't know if it's the same thing, but the overwhelming sense of you, and you were merely casting a mage hand. It does not make sense with any of the formulae I've seen for that spell. And the formulae in your book are even more complex than that.
How deep into this do you want to go?
Damn, I can open a can of...
Are we in danger every time you cast a spell?
Not to my knowledge. There's never been an issue.
Never.
No, I would say that I'm even more in control than the rest of my family with their spellcasting.
Have you ever used a limiter?
In the beginning, it was applied because, I mean, they thought that it would be necessary. And I mean, it might be necessary in the terms of our society, but it's never worked properly in terms of that.
I'm not going to ask any questions, but if this becomes a problem later on, I will need a better explanation of that.
I understand.
Don't ever cast fireball around me, please.
Well, as it happens, I'm not able to do that. So...
It's in your book.
That's a discussion for another time, when we have more time.
Very well.
Freshening up, are we?
Hey
guys!
Yeah, literally the guys are there whipping each other with towels.
Meanwhile, in the other room.
Throwing it back with froth.
Sorilla is...
Sirith,
Who's that?
that is my family name.
And your family lives in...
Oh god.
It's Droja, I believe.
I believe so.
What?
So you might recognize her alias.
No. Do you want me to history roll it?
It's not an alias.
Right. But it's
You're probably putting these there like,
Alias.
hold up.
I have a +7 to history.
Go ahead and roll it for me. With advantage.
It doesn't.
Because you are from Deroja.
It doesn't say in here, but I can.
That is a 25.
Yeah.
It becomes very clear.
So as the conversation kind of comes to a close, you're like, well, she doesn't have the spells, and you think about it. Holy shit. If she really is Lady Sirith, or the name, there is a specific family in Droja who helped found the College of, mages, and has, the monopoly on spellcasting components, spell books. This is
he puts it together.
This is the royal family of magic, or one of the most powerful, most influential families to have ever existed when it comes to the arcane realm.
And she's friends with the guy who hates magic. Yay!
Now you don't. Does she know about that?
I don't think. No.
Okay, so that doesn't even.
No,
That doesn't mean anything to me, but I
And
do know
even-
that, I do know she's been hiding things. Like I know that she's
Yeah.
things that she's trying to conceal, and my character's concern with this is that now somebody else knows.
Right. Up to now, it's been you both have your own secrets, and neither of you care to pry. Right.
Pretty much, but I've been traveling with her, and I don't want bad things to happen because information's coming out.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm. At this point,
I'm
you're kinda-
wary of Ander right this second because I'm kind of watching him and his reactions.
Mm-hmm. It could just be a fluke.
Could be a hunch.
Because you didn't hear her reaction or her talk with the bartender. However, you did hear her give that name for herself.
You literally talked to her earlier, well, how do you know about you? Because of the years or whatever.
The web is tightening. The connections are being made. And, yeah.
Does this room have a window?
Yeah. It does.
He jumps out the window.
No, I don't jump out the window. I point at it. That might be a problem if it's the same in room 7. I'm sorry, it's very hard to focus about what we're planning to do. I'm just worried that this may be someone who doesn't have our best interests at heart. We can talk more later. I need 5 minutes, please. I will be quiet if you all both are quiet. I think we'll have a good night's rest after this is all done. And then Andrew just sits and he's just quietly staring at his Beginner's Guide to Abjuration. Just nervously flicking through the pages that he knows. Trying to calm himself.
Harkin kind of looks at him and says, "Whatever it is you've deduced, keep it to yourself."
He doesn't even, I don't even answer. It's just a curt nod. Actually, I'm gonna have a glass of wine. and then leaves the room.
Holy. We made ourselves down to the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. When you head down, you see these two, and if you guys are looking up, you see a very disheveled Ander.
Oh, quickly tie that back around.
Yeah. He's the least focused, but the most focused you've ever seen him. I would say. Would that be an apt description?
Tortellini, get your butt down here and send some more drinks.
It's zilch. Excuse me, bartender.
What?
Wine?
Alright. And he gives you a look and whatever. And after a moment, copper.
Give her 2.
Pours it a little bit taller.
Tall.
Yeah. And gives you some sort of red wine.
Nice.
It looks like it's very, basic.
It doesn't have to taste, because I make it taste good.
Yeah. Probably a good
At
call.
the bar, or do we have to do it on a table?
Bar.
Yeah, I pull out a not. It's metal, but it's definitely not nice metal spoon, and I just stir it around and kind of whisper a word over the wine, and it tastes good. I take a sip.
What's the nose on this one?
It's very heady. It's kind of like a it's a flowery wine, not a fruity wine.
Okay.
But Andrew likes flowers.
Makes sense.
I can get them.
Me and Cargus kicking back cheap beer. Why do you look so tense? just gotta learn to relax a little bit. Just go with the flow. It's okay. Whatever we're about to talk about, it's gonna be fine. Whoever they are, it has to be some sort of ally. It's okay. He's like, oh, there we go, Andrew. That's the spirit. I mean, toward what zilch? What's
Zilch.
Zilch nada?
Tortellini.
Zilch.
Zilch.
Sorry. Sorry. What weapons do you have?
What?
No, I'm not saying that a lot. I'm asking like what carcass, because you got a weapon after you lost everything, right?
No, I left mine.
So you have nothing.
Yep.
I thought he picked up a great axe.
No, I left it behind.
He left it behind.
Yeah. Because remember I like delivered the fatal blow to that one
And then left
Umber
it
Hulk
in
and then left it in the body.
Yeah.
You notice something strange. One of Anders' pockets is bulging. About like do you have would you have pockets?
A couple
Chef?
pouches.
Yeah.
And then a couple.
There's just like a bulge where there wasn't one before. He must have shoved something in there.
Cargus looks down at it. Silently just pokes it.
You look down and you're like, what in the world? Then you reach in and you pull out that pouch.
No.
With the gems?
Mm-mm.
The
No.
other one.
Oh.
Connor, you really want to mess with this, man. No, okay.
I did not take this.
What is that? What are you holding?
Where's... Did you guys see Froth come
Yeah, he
by?
went to go buy a horse.
You didn't see him pass.
What? Well, he said he went to go buy a horse.
No, we're,
Or in
yeah,
the
yeah,
road.
yeah,
I
yeah, right,
think
right.
he went to go freshen up or something. First, man, I don't know. I can't quite remember.
I like this less and less. And I just put it back. I put it in a different pocket. Just to make sure. And then I check that one. Can I have another wine, please?
She comes back and just gives you one.
Oh, I like your spirit.
I put another coin on the, just another copper on the table just in case.
Cargus sees how fast Ander is drinking, and he looks at Solus, and then he's like, "Let's do this." And then
I think you're gonna be like, okay, what's going on? Let's go, bro!
he's beating us.
Alright, so
You're beating your pregame.
at this point, both of you spent about like 5 copper to 6 copper on beer.
Sorry, I feel like
Just go ahead and subtract that
nice and cheap.
if you're going.
Yeah.
Knocking them back.
I'm probably letting
And every
Him?
copper is 1 drink.
I'm probably letting him pay more for it because I only have 3 gold. That's all I have.
Mhm.
So
That's fine. I got you.
okay. I think
Archie's dropping gold, he's
after
dropping
drinking together like for a while, it's kind of there's that mutual relationship of
Mhm.
this Cargus doesn't know how to handle money and someone's getting
Seems to have an
Yeah.
infinite
I
amount.
wanted
Yeah.
to see how bad drunk I was going to be for my own roleplay.
You could roll a con save.
It's
or a-
15 minutes, Solus!
I know.
You've had like a total of like 5 beers,
Yeah.
which is a fair amount if you're knocking them back.
Yeah, so I'm knocking them back. So I was just checking. I self-passed with what I gave myself.
What did you roll?
14.
You're more than buzzed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just trying to see if I was how fast this launch was.
No.
Donate.
At this point, you've built a fair amount of tolerance. You aren't and you've been on the river for like 3 days, and
Yeah.
you just did the same thing.
If I
You did
rolled
it.
less than that, I probably. But no, I'm not.
Do you want me to roll for that?
I don't know.
It's probably not affecting me too much.
No.
It is almost time. We should probably head upstairs.
Oh yeah, it feels good. And I pick my staff up right next to me. Okay.
Let him talk.
Yeah, I make sure that they go up the stairs before me. And Ander is terrified that something's going on. That was like otherworldly. He didn't know if Presinia did it because she was mad at him or something, or if Froth did it. Like he is. There's
And
too
no
many
way
things
anybody
coming
can
at
reach
me.
in there without you knowing.
Exactly.
I mean,
Like there's just too much. Like I'm supposed to be planning for in case we get attacked, but then I also just learned something about Presinia, and then I found this on me. Like yeah, it's just a lot for him to compartmentalize right now.
So how long were Presinia and I alone in the room?
I'd say about like 5-10 minutes.
Okay. So Harkins kind of waits for Andrew to leave, go downstairs or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick.
I'm away.
What does he know?
Less than you. I believe he's deduced that my casting ability is different from his and that my book is not... It is what he thinks it is, but I do not use it. He doesn't know about the hounds or any of that.
I simply fear for your safety if things get out.
I understand, but they do tend to be further behind us, and they haven't caught up to us yet.
No. Very well. I simply had fear he might be a threat. Or something.
I believe we could take care of it if it came to that, but from what I've seen so far, it's been okay. I will have to go back eventually.
Of course. Well, we still have the hand to find.
It's true.
Kind of stretches and sits up.
Shall we make that meeting then?
Of course.
And so you guys wait for the rest to come back up?
Yeah, I mean, the room's sort of nearby, isn't
I'll
it?
wait.
Yeah, no,
in
it's
the
right
hallway.
outside.
Yeah, so
it's
we can
across
kind
the
of wait in the room or wait right outside or whatever.
Nobody really walks through until the three of them return. Everybody's cheeks a little rosy.
Hey guys.
Ooh.
Knocking on the open, just open the door, like knocking.
So you're going to room 7?
There.
Oh.
That's right.
Oh, okay. They're outside.
No,
the
they're outside.
Yeah, I thought they were waiting for me to walk up.
No.
Okay, so walking up. Hey guys. You ready?
It was 15 minutes. How much did you have to drink?
Oh, we shot it back.
I think they had 4 after I got there.
Oh my.
Really?
Yikes.
I just wanted to at least feel good we were last night be a good night.
I'm sorry.
What?
Harkin puts his hand on his shoulders. We need to keep our wits about us.
Maybe let the rest of us do the talking.
Well, it's not fair because Magic got
It's-
drank a lot.
I had 2 glasses of wine, and that's more than I ever have.
So
That's
are
not.
you okay?
No, we'll talk about it later. I just need to enter the room last so I can do the thing.
Okay. And I'm
Harkin sort of steps up. I'll take lead. If anything goes down, I'm better at close quarters.
And someone should guard the window.
I do
I-
believe
I'll guard the window.
possibly
You are very
minor
tall.
illusion on the
Yeah.
window, fog it up a little.
Caucus, you look great.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate
we
that.
knock on the door.
Yeah, Harkin.
And I have to edit my little stat.
Wait for a second. No response. No sounds.
My old good knock
He just bangs twice more. Nothing.
Nothing.
I just say open the door.
Shoots and tests the door.
Locked.
Oh, okay. Should
All
we
of
bust in? Should we break in? Or should we ask the barkeep if anyone's staying in room 7?
That might give us away.
Well, I mean, we could say it's a noise complaint.
Somebody who's not him. Go ask the barkeep.
That's fine.
I can handle that. I go ask Gert about room 7. We just heard a strange noise. Thought we should check on whomever's inside.
Are you telling her that?
Yes.
There's no one in there.
When was the last time someone occupied that room?
Why do you want to know? She says she's pouring her drink and passing
Well, we
it.
heard a strange noise. We don't know if there's someone just squatting or...
Squatters.
If there's somebody in my room, they shouldn't be in my room.
Well, we might need to check that out. I mean...
I'll be right back. And she yanks the key off the chain and comes up the stairs, or just starts to head the stairs. And she opens. She comes up. Gert comes around the stairwell.
Barkeep.
Sees the four of you standing in the hallway.
We heard the noise.
Just steps. Doesn't even ask. Steps up to the door, unlocks it, opens it. It's a completely clean room. In fact, it's, as tidy as yours was when you walked in.
Strange.
Bed's checked in.
I could have sworn we heard a noise. I'm so sorry to bother you, Barkeep.
Maybe a bird hit a window.
Harkin coughs and translates. Well then, if this room's open, would you mind if I put in some of my own coin to get this one for myself? I'm a little large for the other rooms.
Be my guest. 1 gold.
Pulls out a coin and hands it to her.
Just gives you the key. Walks back downstairs.
Thank you.
I'm out of the game. Because she paid what, gold max?
She paid $1.50 gold.
Yeah, for 2. Oh, okay, wait, that makes sense. It's be gold per. Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
Doesn't really matter on bodies.
I wait until I hear the steps fade.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to catch the barkeep,
Okay.
actually, and say, I did notice that, the first floor of rooms is 1 through 5, but this one only has 4 rooms. I was curious about room 6.
Oh, that's a numbering error. There is a room 6.
How many rooms are on the other floors?
She takes a second. It seems like she's really thinking hard to try to.
That's right.
4 or 5 on each one is 4 floors, and the bar.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Ander pulls out his mundane stone. I'm not gonna cast
Yeah, I'm
this
not
as a
saying
ritual.
what. Okay.
And I'm gonna
We're
cast.
making a cool thingy over there.
I am casting Detect Magic.
Room 6 doesn't exist.
Okay, good.
Specifically within 30 feet of room 7.
Give it to me. Give it. Give us it.
Having fun over there, Hunter?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I reach into this pocket and present you. Your friend. I don't know if it was you or if it was him, but somehow I got this, and I hand the sack to Brasilia.
You guys see this, and it is the deck of cards that he,
It was definitely not me, but I do wish to see what's inside.
Me too.
You are not okay.
Cargus moves Solus's arm down.
I didn't get to look at it. It was a
Thank
freaking
you.
horse.
Solus.
I step kind of away from them, almost into the room if the door is open, just to get
Door's
past
still open.
them so they don't interrupt my focus. And I know that she's not using magic, but I'm trying to get away because I know how overwhelming it can be now.
Okay, so there is slight traces of magic around. One, again, with the spellcasters. With that satchel you handed over. There is a slight trace of magic in the room where the other 3 were staying with, Froth and Carcass and Solus. A slight trace in there. This room. No, there's something that's magical. It's in here. It's very faint, but it's here. And then downstairs there's a stronger sense of magic.
I eyes closed, with the focus. There's something in your room, Quercus. There's something very minute in here, and there's something considerable beneath us.
You catch magic.
Solus, is there anything magical in your room? Crap, what? Your name?
Bell.
Bell. My apologies, Bell. Yes, there's something in your room. There's something fainter in this one, and there's something stronger downstairs. That's all it says. And then I pocket the rock. Let's investigate.
Starts walking in the room.
Which room?
My room.
I'm gonna follow. So.
Just. I mentioned to Barrett, do you want to see what this is as well?
I'm going to look over room 7.
Okay.
Guess the rest of you are going to room 10?
9.
Where our room was.
9?
I'll 10.
I'll
Sorry.
stay with Barrett in 7.
Okay. So you guys opened the door to room 10. You don't see anything. And by that I mean you don't see anything. There's no bags. You guys didn't even go in it, right?
Right.
You two?
But,
I've been carrying the sack the whole time.
I mean, nobody else said they went in and dropped anything off, so...
Yeah.
I mean, the only person who ever even slightly went in was Froth, and there's no sign that anybody had ever entered.
Inspect the room.
The empty room?
Where's Froth's things?
You don't see anything, no matter how hard you look. I mean, it just looks like a room. Like there's some dust in the corners. There's some maybe like a shirt that was balled up or something that got stuck underneath the pantry. But I mean, there's nothing.
Didn't he
strange.
throw his bag in here?
He did leave us. I'm gonna go downstairs.
Okay, and then
I'm gonna drop off the sack in the room.
okay.
Focus, but if you leave it, no, I'm just kidding.
And who was it? You, Andrew, that was going with them?
I was with checking with Barrett.
What about you?
I'm just kind of standing.
You're out in the middle.
I'm gonna stand in the doorway of room 7 and open the pouch.
So, okay, you flip open the pouch, and there
You're told.
there are 21 cards inside, and they're all they look nice. They look like they've never really been pulled out or anything. They look fairly fresh. They're black and pretty shiny. You can't really see what's on them. As for you two, you walk into the room, and you start walking towards where you sense the magic from, and it was in one of the drawers in the desk near the window. And as you open the drawers, you don't see anything inside. But it was the bottom drawer. You pull it out, you don't see anything. You start feeling around it, and then you find
Underneath with what he did,
Yeah.
with what Froth did.
exactly. There is there's something stuck to the bottom of the drawer.
Barrett, could you help me lift this? There's something under here.
Well, you can
Oh.
easily
Oh,
just
hold it.
pull it off.
Flip all the furniture.
And you pull it out, and it is a small parchment sealed with a stamp of Assyria. But it's different than the Assyrian Empire is typical.
Sigil.
Yes.
He's drinking.
Typically, it's a red whatever gold lion with a sword in its jaw. However, it is not a sword, but a scepter, and it is standing behind the lion. I mean, it's wax stamped on, but it is a scepter behind the lion. Now, roll me a history.
You shouldn't have said that. That's an unnatural 20.
Okay, so
He's like, oh.
this
Yeah, that's pretty good estimate.
isn't a knockoff. It isn't a fake. It isn't somebody trying badly to
Imitate.
right. Instead, it's something that is pretty.
Esoteric. Like, not a lot of people know.
Yes, it is an emblem of the Assyrian Empire, but an old one one that is no longer in use. One that, if ever seen, is ceremonial and only used by the royal family. But that being said, it's not even that anymore. Instead, it's been updated to be the sword in the jaw of the lion. But the scepter was something that a lost family heirloom of the ruling family. So this is old, or at least it looks like it should be. But the parchment is very fresh. It's sealed with this.
Barrett kind of
I relay that information.
steps over and kind of looks at it as like,
This is
what
an
is your plan?
old sigil, but the paper looks fresh. The wax looks genuine. The only times I've seen this specific symbol is in. I reach into my pouch and I start like tearing through my books. Where is it?
Can I look at the symbol?
A thorough history of Azeroth. I moved to Assyria. Go to the page with the coats and arms, and it is, I'm assuming, like, not even on the main couple of pages. It's in, like, one of the, like, literally the only reason I see it is like, other symbols used, like, no information's given or
It's
something.
been kind of scrubbed from history, almost assumedly out of embarrassment of losing that heirloom.
Oh,
It's
so it doesn't, I can't, like...
It's in that book, because that book is an old copy.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, it is purposely forgotten.
Yeah, this has not been used in it. I'd guess at least 100 years, if not more.
You can roll me history if you want. I mean, what's your bonus on it?
It's a +4, but I also have one of my superiority dice that I can use for history checks.
Okay, do it.
So yeah, I'll do that.
Then there's a chance. You are military.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. Is I have a background in this sort of stuff. It is
Right.
history is included in this, right? I just want to make sure before I say that. Yeah, intelligence history.
Even if it wasn't another country's seal, he might have had to know it.
Okay, so it's
He's-
1d20 plus 1d8. 14 plus 4, so that's. Or wait, not 4. Yeah, 14 plus 18.
I mean, it's definitely Syrian. It's a direct origin, maybe. Again, it's something that was purposely scrubbed, so if you had exposure, you weren't supposed to. So maybe you saw it in passing, but it doesn't really mean anything to you. If anything, you thought it was like a misprint or something.
Yeah.
But you've seen it before. Yeah.
I don't think this is from the Assyrian Empire. But
Well, use your letter opener.
I'm like wincing at that.
He reaches out. If you won't, I will.
I unfurl it gently in case, you know.
Unless you just destroyed a piece of history.
Yeah, exactly. That's the worry.
Surprise! It's a glitter ball.
It's a glyph of warning that I can't afford.
Delayed last fireball.
Boom.
And giant lightning. Gotcha.
Fair
Magic
enough.
mouth. Bitch. Rude.
I don't like how much he's flipping.
I don't either.
He's like, gotta make sure.
That is medicine.
Oh,
I just hope he doesn't roll dice, you know?
Yeah.
roll one right now.
In the event of my demise, this letter will be left in my last known location. If not retrieved within 3 days, assume me dead. I've carried out my duty to the best of my ability. Uphold the crown of the royal family. If I died, I died with honor. If I've been taken, I will not be submissive. Upon return to the proper authorities, this letter shall reveal any and all information that I've been able to gather. M.
Proper authorities.
Scratch his chin. Is there a signature on it at all?
Just
yeah.
in. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Yeah, with Presinia's hand reaching into the. Do you wanna, yeah, because she was in the
Oh.
doorway while we were
I
doing
was
all that.
Opening it.
Okay, then we're going to end the session here in a second.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on with this.
So you're going to...
Okay, are you aware?
Is
of
this
what's
another like right knife?
No, yes,
No,
it's
no,
a
no,
single thing.
Okay.
I'm not.
So you
don't
I'm
even
just
reach
wondering
in
if she
and
knows.
pull a card.
I'm scared.
Did you buy?
What
Wait.
card is that?
Joker.
Holy shit.
Holy shit!
Okay. Let me check something. Check something.
Wait,
Let me check, okay, let
Joker.
me check something. Let me check something. Let me check something. Let me check
Please,
something.
let this be
Let
amazing.
me check something.
It's either two things.
Oh god.
I'm scared.
Oh god. No.
Oh no.
I don't like that he's laughing.
I don't.
Let me check something.
Been
Did you
checking
guys find the
something for a
magic
while.
downstairs?
Oh no.
Wait.
Holy shit! Okay.
Or.
I would like you to add 10,000 experience to your character sheet.
Holy shit, I'm holy.
Holy fuck.
Or,
1,000?
if you would like, you can draw 2 more cards.
Don't look at me
Mary
like that.
Kate.
I'm not gonna say nothing. We're reading a
It's your
very
call.
important letter right now.
Hold on.
She could be doing whatever.
Gosh. I knew it.
Gosh. I don't know what would that equate to.
I can help you if you want to know.
Yes, please.
XP by level. Because I think how to pull it up quickly.
You can just add experience, I'm pretty positive.
No,
But,
not because it's
Because if you
As
put my
level right
milestone,
now.
it gets rid of this.
yeah,
okay.
So how much XP was it?
10,000.
Yeah, that's
Jeez.
So we're level 5. So that would you wouldn't quite hit level
6,500 to 1,004.
5. Oh, okay. Now she'd level up.
14,000.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah, she would level up.
As you pull the card, it takes you a second. You just feel like you remember everything for a moment. It's hard to keep your eyes open and absorb this information. And as it's gone, you almost feel empty. You missed it. It was right there. The truth. Like that was the answer. You don't know to what, but it was there. That would have answered any question you could have had, and you'd almost do anything to see it again. But what you did learn has changed you. You gained 10,000 experience.
Mary Kate, you're level 6 now.
And the satchel is gone.
No.
And with that, today's session.
Holy
ends.
Christ!
Okay. So I would like to ask you, do you know what the deck of many things is? Because
Oh, shit. Well,
there is a
it's like
50-50
usual.
chance.
Right.
The other one would have been you lose 10,000 experience.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
There's also a card in there